What's up? What's up,
Hey.
George? How's it going, man?
Doing good. Good to see you, man.
Good. Likewise. Hey, everybody. I already said hello to some of you. See, I wanted to try something different. Said hello to you in the last couple of minutes before we went live. So this way I can skip over those of you I've already said hello to and catch up quickly with the comments, or maybe not so quick, but who else? Okay. Who have I not said hello to? Wow, I'm catching up pretty good. Marcus, you're the first guy I haven't said hello to. Guitar man. Yes, sir. The musician man is here. And you've got 5 minutes before you have to ingratiate yourself with some clients. What the hell are you doing here then, Hyder? But I appreciate it. Not that I don't appreciate it. Thank you, sir. Enjoy your meeting with clients. Imbibing, I'm sure. And Alberto Gonzalez. Hey, everyone. What's up, man? Good to see you as well. Unless George decides to do an impromptu session, I would think not. That's my guess. So, yeah. There you go, JTR. So you're so famous already. Now you're the band's known as JTR, and people know what people are talking about. So
that's very kind. I appreciate it. What's up, guys? Guys and gals.
And look at him. Look at Jeff. He's even requesting. He's far beyond what Marcus thinks. That's so funny.
Jeff is awesome. Jeff has been a supporter of the band and just awesome guy all around. So appreciate it.
He is an awesome guy all around. So that's cool. Good. Glad to hear that. That's awesome. Marto saying hello. Hey, Dwayne Zapane. What's up, Oklahoma? And who else we got there? Of course, we got Jeff, #1 Marvel fan. Tom. There we go. There's another one. What's up, Ian? Good to see you, sir. Lovely to see you. Lovely to have you as always. And my wonderful friend Karen. What's up, Karen? Good to see you. Saying hello to all of us and everyone in the chat as always. The nicest, kindest person here in the chat, I would say. I'll give you that credit, Karen. Or friendliest. That's a good word. That's what I was trying to say. Friendliest. No, I kid the rest of you. Don't get jealous. And is this one of your bandmates?
No, that's me. I logged in.
Oh, you logged in as your. Oh, okay. Okay. Very cool. Aranga, what's up, man? Good to see you too. And hello. Oh, look at that. I'm not sure what you're breaking up my name for this time. Cito. I don't know. But what's up, Carlito? Good to see you. Football season is over. Yeah, man, what's up? I'm just representing the #1 player of all time here. It's not necessarily for the team since they suck big time right now. So, yeah, man. This is just my love of football. And for Tom Brady, that's it. And, hey, what's up? Carl in the house. What is up? Not allowed to try to catch up the comments before the show. I really need to, man. I'm always falling behind. You know that. Eternals, what's up? Good to see you again. And who else we got? Look at that. Atari, what's up, George? Why the fascination with character design? He's already asking questions. Look at that.
We might find out.
Make them clients happy. Okay, talking to Hydra. I hope everyone is. Hey, what's up, John Brown? Enjoying spring training. Did spring training begin? It couldn't possibly have begun already. Has it? Shit, that would be early. It feels early, anyways. Good evening to you, my friend. Good evening to you. Real quick, everyone. Oh shit, there's a bunch more comments. I didn't realize. I thought I was already caught up. Oops. Okay, where was I? I thought Ruben was a Lions fan. I am. Lions since 1989. Patriots since 93. Yeah. So I spent a couple of decades as one of the most winningest fans of all time, but at the same time suffering greatly with the other team. So, kind of balanced it all out. Mikhail is here. What's up? Chris Bailey, what's up, George? What's up, Chris? Long time. And what do we got? Ruins of Brady Stan. I am. Says the Brady Stan. What's up, man? What's up? Everyone will be wearing Dunkin' Donuts orange next. Oh, I won't. Let's see some music-related art. What's up, Mike? Don't worry. I had to sneak in a little bit of music-related art, but I don't want to like upset everybody else, so it's not a lot. But I, of course, had to include it. Of course, I did. Nicky B, what's up? Good to see you, Nick. And thank you for rallying the likes. 1993, that's when I came to the U.S. from Spain. Wow. I always wondered about that. I wondered when you came and settled in Boston. Oh, you were in Boston before you were in Cali. Wow. I was a Patriots fan myself by default. There you go. So you understand. There you go. Awesome. Yeah, please, if you could all just hit the thumbs up icon right somewhere beneath my finger, maybe an inch below your screen where I'm pointing. That'd be very appreciated. You don't have to subscribe. Don't worry about it. I'm not going to ask you to do that. I don't give a crap about that. But if you can hit the thumbs up, I'd appreciate it. That'd be nice. Thank you, Marcus, for telling them that. That is awesome. Steve W is back in the house. What's up? Evening to you, man. And hey, Nick Marucci. Okay, it's cool. So before we get into all of this, everyone, please, as I always do, if you don't mind, let me just give a quick welcome. Shout out to my newest subscribers, Mem McNamara and Feliz La Vida Among Us. Dollar signs in the eyes and tongue, double emoji. And a couple of how else would you describe that part of the name? You know, I didn't even know that you could have emojis as part of your name. That was weird when I saw that. So I was like, oh, that's
impressive.
Yeah, you know. And to the anonymous ones among you whose names I couldn't see because your privacy settings don't let me. So thank you and welcome. Real quick, wanted everybody. Gosh, I hope I have the thing. And let me see in my. Oops, no, I don't. Okay, sorry. I'm just going to put a little promo, as I always do, everyone. For Carl, who is right here with us currently in the live chat. Carl, here we go. Carl has a new video, everybody, so I'm not going to spoil what it's about. So just a quick reminder for all of you, if you are not subscribed to his channel and don't get the notifications, that's a direct link to his latest video. So please check that out. And one other one, which, here, let me see. Here we go. Copy. Okay. And let me jump back into the chat to put this in here. And this is the direct link to another video. And this is from Karen, from Karen's Pages. It is not a new video. It is the same one I promoted last week, but it's a fascinating piece of documentary filmmaking. I'm not even kidding about that. It's amazing. That's all I have to say. It's truly fascinating, with a lot of incredible background work and investigating and sort of almost journalism, if you will, that she did for this episode. And it's basically the real story behind the, up until now, what was thought to be the story of a comic book pedigree collection known as the Okajima collection. And she uncovered some truths about it. So the story has changed, and wow. Let me just say this, because it'll probably help make it more intriguing. The Okajima collection was named after someone with the last name Okajima. And it turns out, Karen discovered it was not owned by that person with the last name Okajima. Rather, it turns out it was owned by somebody with the same name from another family who may or may not have been related. That's still to be determined. But it was somebody else. So that's it's amazing. It's riveting. It's about 55 minutes, so it's kind of like an actual documentary. So just short of an hour, 55 or 59 minutes, something like that. It's fantastic, though. Super, super amazing. So if you want to watch something that's really intriguing, and read the comments, read a few comments, everybody. If you're not thinking it's up your alley, read some of the comments. You will see you will be shocked at how universally positive and mind blown everybody in the comments are about what Karen did there with that episode. So check it out if you can. And you are very, you are very welcome, Karen. You deserve it. So applause for you on that. And Carlos, yeah, it feels like it is when you watch it. It's really great. So I suggest checking it out. Watch out, PBS and Ken Burns' Karen's taking over. She could if you wanted to. It's not Tiger King. Actually, I like the Tiger King. I don't know what you're trying to say by that. I enjoy Tiger King. Yeah, and I saw Rick, the Rickster. He put in his comment. He watched it and he also commented. And yeah, so I know that he also enjoyed it. So don't take my word for it. Take the word of everybody else who has commented and watched, because it's universally supremely positive. So, well, FYI, Ian, that was a bit of a joke. You know, nobody's saying it's exactly like a Ken Burns documentary, whatever. But check it out. Check it out. Mark Fong, what's up? Good to see you, sir. That was comic scholarship at its finest. Got me riveted all the way to the end. You see, exactly. That's what I mean. And a lot of people think have been saying the same thing. Marcus, yes, that's my name. Not sure what you're trying to tell me with that. Amir, what's up? What is up, Amir? Holy crap, man. Long time no speak, my friend. Long time no speak. It's good. Lovely to see you here, by the way. That's awesome, man. Thank you, everyone. Busy working on solving another mystery. I might have cracked another pedigree. Wow, look at you. You're going to become like a comic book detective soon. That's awesome. I look forward to that. Can you solve the cadence mystery? Hey, like I said, Carlos, in the last 2 weeks, it's not that there's a mystery. You just have to wait until those artists. We already know that it appears to be related to either non-payment or delayed payment to the artists. And as you know, the artists, as many as there are, have not spoken yet. My guess is that it's because they're hoping to not say a word until, you know, they're praying they get their art back or their whatever money is owed to them. And that's that. To me, that's what makes sense. The only thing that makes sense, which would explain why nobody has spoken. But once it happens, all the story will come out. You know, people will start talking, and it won't be a mystery. You know, it's just that nobody's talking yet. So we'll know in due course for sure. You know. Hey, Knights, what's up, buddy? What was such a great watch? Scroll up a little bit. I put a link to a video that Karen did on her channel. At 8:10, I don't know if you guys see the timestamps on YouTube. I don't know if you guys have timestamps when you look on YouTube next to your names on the comments. I have a timestamp anyways, but just scroll up a bit. You'll see my comment, and it's a link. It's a link that you can click, and that's what we're talking about. Let's see, unboxing pedigrees. Yes, Karen Scooby pages. I don't get that. Oh, that's what you got. The mystery. Yeah, right. George has the look of someone with inside knowledge. Well, I believe, George, that you have dealt with them many times, correct?
Yeah, the whole situation makes me sad. I don't know all the details, but I've known Paolo for years.
Yeah.
You know, bought, I think, almost since I started collecting in 2009, 2010 from Cadence. Yeah. And have had a lot of positive things to say about them over the years, and I know that hasn't been the case from seeing the posts online. So it's sad for everybody involved, and hopefully it's getting sorted in the background. Yeah,
for sure. Out of curiosity, can I just ask, did you know him? Have you known him for years because as a customer you started buying from him, or did you already know him outside of that?
Because as a customer, and then, you know, you see each other at conventions and hang out at cons, and basically anytime you'd come to North Carolina, I'd see that crew and catch up with them. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Mr. Red Jack, lovely to see you here, sir. Wow. I hope you're hanging out with us for a while. Miss Karen is becoming the new Nancy Drew Mysteries with her investigative journalism. Hey, man, I'm sure she'll take that compliment. She deserves it. So. Yeah, everybody. Okay, so I think let me just take one last look just to make sure I've done my promos. I wanted to promo. So I said, yeah, the 2 videos and Nikki B. Yeah, you know what? Everybody, here is the URL for Nick's channel. That's Nick Barucci for his show, The Original Art Experience. It's a sales and art sales show every Friday on youtube.com/the EXP. It's at 7 p.m. Eastern, a little bit early on the West Coast. That's 4 p.m. But it's affordable art for the most part, and that you claim style sales show with occasional higher end art. So please tune in and check that out whenever you can. It's every Friday. And here is what Nicky B looks like. There he is, Friday, 7 p.m. And that's Amy hiding in the background. So there you go. All right. And let me see. I think that's it for that. We'll catch up a few more comments and then we'll get into this. What do we got? What do we got? Aranga says, I've had positive experiences with Cadence too. I'm not gloating over what happened. Nobody says you are, my friend. I never got commissions through them. I did buy some published pieces. They did take a long time to respond, ship their pages. I'm going to say something about that. I might as well. I've already said certain things in the past. So, but they always ended up completing every deal. Okay. I just want to say the interesting thing about Cadence. I don't know them at all. Never dealt with them. But because of my position in the hobby, where I have this sort of platform, and because I've been around for a long time in the hobby, I talk to a lot of people, right? And so a lot of people talk to me, and in so doing, over the last couple of years, I found it interesting to say that I was surprised that quite a few people, when they would and these conversations typically are of the sort where people were just talking about, oh, nice art. Oh, where'd you pick up that page? And then they tell me, oh, I got it at Cadence, and that's how it starts. I'm like, oh, okay, great. And then it turns out some people end up saying, yeah, but it's kind of like, it wasn't easy, whatever. And it's like, oh, what do you mean? And one of the common refrains that I had heard for the last couple of years from quite a few collectors was that they often didn't reply to emails quickly at all, to the tune of 5-7 days, that kind of thing. So which I can get, because I'm all about communication, and it's just, yeah, that would drive me up a wall. And of course, naturally, there's a lot of people I spoke with who told me, oh yeah, I got it at Cadence. Yeah, very good experience, But yeah, it always kind of stuck in my craw though, that like way more than I would like were saying that, yeah, communication. And quite a few people have told me, oh, they shipped me the wrong thing. They made up for it, but they shipped me the wrong thing. And, so you still have to go through a bit of a hassle. But that's all I know about them. So yeah, like I said, it's when you hear about this kind of thing, it's never fun. And that's why, Carlos, who kind of mentioned something about it earlier, he had posted a comment in one of my the episode I did. I think it was 3 episodes ago. After the show, he watched it, I guess, on Rewind, and he left a comment beneath the video saying, "Wow, 3 hours and not a mention of the Cadence thing." And what I told him in reply to the comment was, "There's no news out there, and so all we would really be doing is complete speculation." Right, so I'm willing to talk about it, but it'd be nice to get the news. Let's get more facts out there, and then we can discuss it for sure. But otherwise, what's the point? Let's just wait and see what happens, what comes out of it. So that's it. I'm not here to crucify anybody, but I'm just like you, Carlos. I would love to get. I'm sure we all are curious, right? It's natural to be curious. So for sure. Mickey, what's up, Mickey? Ordered a page from Cadence and received it in the promised time last week. There you go. See, that's what I'm saying. EXP, nice jumping the 20. Yeah, thank you. Please, everybody, if you can hit the likes, I'd appreciate that. There's according to my count, it's not often updated. But I'm seeing 39 people. So 13 of you haven't clicked the thumbs up button, which is somewhere right underneath here. If you don't mind hitting that, no need to subscribe if you're here for the first time. I don't care about that, but hit the like. That would be nice. I'd appreciate it. Let's see. What do we got? Why don't we cover? Okay, some Nick Barucci jokes. Okay, that's you giving them. Okay, excellent. And Mickey says, I Oh, see, interesting, right? See. So at the same time, the Mickey says, "Oh, I just got a page this week or last week." I've also had an issue with them. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. It seems very. You hear, I seem to hear as many pros, but then as many cons, right? So it's who knows? That's kind of why I'm curious to see what the deal is. You know, did business with them once, slow with the replies. Yeah, that's what I said. That's the common refrain I was referring to was the communication issue. Yes, if people have facts, let's hear them. Exactly. But unless there's facts, let's just wait, you know, let's wait. Just stopping in to hit the like button. Appreciate that and wish George good luck. Are you trying to insinuate that I'm going to give him a hard time bootlegging? Come on, Dan. Come on. I appreciate you dropping in just to do that, though, even though you can hang around. I appreciate it. Thank you. And Carl says, my first interaction with George was through our mutual, and then you hit enter by mistake, apparently, and you're currently typing out the rest of your sentence. Okay, actually, so why well, here we go. My first interaction with George was through our mutual love of Tom Riley. Yeah, there you go. And I had a feeling he was going to say that because I knew that you both had Riley art, you know, so that's cool. And I knew this, by the way, and yet even so, Carl, don't beat me with a stick afterwards, but I did not pick a Riley piece for tonight's show. I'm sorry if that upsets you. Sorry to you too, George. There's so much to pick from. What can I do? Like, you know, there's just, you know, I got a 20. I want to keep 20 max because, as you know, the way my show goes, right? We talk with everybody, and that's what takes up so much more time. And so it only allows 20 pieces enough, you know, it takes 3 hours, right? So that's why. Our buddy Mike Snitzer's back. What's up? Love seeing the Tom Brady. Hey, what's up? Good to see you again, Mike. So why don't we just for the benefit of those people, because we do have crossover. You know, as you know, George, there's not many channels dedicated to original art in our hobby so far. And there's also obviously there's a lot of crossover between the few channels that do exist. Would you be cool with maybe starting off giving us a little bit of a history as to how you not only got into art, but maybe your when you started with comics and how that led to art? And if you want to mix in, just for the sake of the timeline, since we all know you're a musician, if you want to kind of mention, okay, and that was also when I first picked up the guitar or started writing music, or, you know, whatever. That'd be cool too, you know?
Yeah. I'll try to keep it brief.
Yeah,
you know,
sure.
I think like a lot of people maybe here or in general started reading in the 90s. So I think, you know, some of the big books that I really remember, the big event books were like Death of Superman, you know, X-Men #1, Extinction Agenda, I think, Executioner Song, like all of that stuff was like prime, you know, young kid me picking up comics.
Young kid, young. When you say young kid, are you talking like 10 to 12 years old? That kind of range?
Yeah,
like,
probably 11, 12. And probably 13 is really when I started like regularly picking books up. But
are you around 43-ish right now?
Yeah.
Oh.
Actually, a little bit younger, but right around there.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, but that was back when they were selling comics in the grocery stores.
Yeah, you didn't have a shop at that time, right?
Yeah, so we in like the you know, drugstores and things like that. So basically, when I'd go run errands with my mom, I'd convince her to let me pick up a book or two, which was pretty awesome because now you have to go to a dedicated store, which I love local comic shops, but you have to make a specific effort now if you want to get comic books. I guess with online it's easier though. But basically read up until high school, and then around high school is kind of when my comic fandom started to go downhill. Other things, sports, girls, guitar.
Okay.
You know,
you didn't sort of start disliking the comics, I'm assuming. It's just that the other interests were stronger, and so you kind of like just let it fall by the wayside kind of thing, right?
Yeah, I started feeling more comfortable getting out of my bedroom and, you know, had reasons to go hang out with other people and make friends. And, you know, music was really good for that. I feel fortunate that I started playing guitar when I did, because that really opened me up to actually talking to other people and hanging out with other people.
What age did you pick up the guitar for the first time?
It was shortly after I started reading. So 13 is when I started playing guitar.
Okay.
And, you know, the cool thing I remember is, I wish I had thought to get a picture, but, you know, had pictures of like Art Adams' X-Men poster on my wall next to Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah.
You know,
that's cool.
Like, those were my favorite things, was music and comics growing up. Still are. You know, I had a hiatus there really in high school, in college. And then around 2004, 2005, slowly started picking up some books. I made the mistake of selling most of my comics once I got to high school, because I needed gas money, wanted to buy some music gear, things like that. So after college, when I got a job, you know, started having some expendable income, started buying back some of the books that I had sold. And then it was really around 2009, 2008, actually, that I really got back into going to the local comic shops and like picking up monthly books and things like that. And one of the main books, I know some people on here might know, was Millar and McNiven's Old Man Logan.
If you ever see him at a con, don't ever say, "Hey, Mr. Millar." He hates Millar, because that's not how you pronounce it. It's actually Miller, believe it or not.
Miller with an A. Okay.
It's Miller, but with an A. But he's been known to like get pissed off, and he'll be like, "I don't get it.
All right.
Why does everybody say Millar? I don't get it." And it's like, what do you mean you don't get it? It's an A. Of course they say Millar, and they're gonna think it's Millar. You know.
That's good to know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if I'll ever meet him, because I feel like he doesn't do many cons these days. But
true. Yeah.
But very good. All right, so Mark Miller, that's going to be really hard for me to take.
I know, you got to force yourself to kind of, I know. It's not easy. You're used to it, right? So
yeah.
But
that was the book that really, I mean, I loved Wolverine as a kid. You know, those original runs. I liked the Miller run, but it was really the Buscema, like Marvel Comics Presents stuff and the early Wolverine stuff that really got me hooked. So it was an easy fit to pick up a Wolverine book when I got back into comics. And right around then, I was searching for books on eBay, and I can't remember what I was searching, but I stumbled on a original piece of art for sale on eBay, and I was like, "What is this black and white?"
Wow! So you're one of those guys who, while you were reading comics and enjoying comics, you didn't really ever give any thought to how they're made and what the art would look like.
I thought about how they're made, but in my head, because like on the music side, you know, when someone does an album cover, the label owns that artwork. So in my head, I just assumed Marvel kept everything, that the artist didn't get to keep it. I assumed it was in a drawer somewhere, and didn't realize that the artist got some of the art back, or all the art back. So that blew my mind. And it was a Mike Deodato page. And I think it was like $60 or $80 or something like that. So nice. That was my first piece. I picked it up, you know, a week or so later, it arrives at my house. And I think from there, I'm like, I have to find if more of this is available. And that's when I discovered the Artist Choice, who was representing Steve McNiven at that time, was selling pages from the Old Man Logan series. I came in about halfway. I think I was like 4 issues into the series, so I missed a lot of the art. But I met a lot of great guys on CAF who were also buying. And there was a group of us, Matt, and I've never met Matt. Matt Simicek, I think is his last name. I'm probably saying it wrong. Mike Williams, Thomas Garvey. I think it was the 4 of us. You know, started emailing each other, and from there, kind of coordinating, like, when we'll let each other know when the art goes up, and we'll kind of help each other out, get some pages. And it was a really cool experience. And that was my first interaction with other collectors. Mm-hmm. And I think was really like my first like positive interaction in the community, and really got me hooked early on.
Cool.
Roberto, you're right.
That's very true. Everybody knows that. That's you're not telling us anything we don't already know there. So funny. Their site is a nostalgia trip. Yeah, it's been a nostalgia trip since it was brand new, you know?
Yep.
That's funny. Yeah, trip down memory lane, just revisit his page. Yeah, exactly. That's cool.
And by the way, I saw some of the sports comments. I didn't play any of the cool sports. I played ultimate frisbee.
Okay.
And I poorly played soccer.
Poorly.
Which both are cool, but I feel like football is the cool kids sport.
Well, I gotta tell you though, George. Is it called ultimate frisbee? Is that the proper name?
So if you ask the guys on the team, you don't say the word frisbee because frisbee is a brand like Kleenex.
Oh, right.
You just say ultimate, but when I say ultimate, nobody knows what I'm talking about. So.
Oh, okay. I gotta say, I was always fascinated by how you can do the forward.
Oh yeah,
and make it spin. And I used to think, because I used to see people do that with something that wasn't a frisbee, like a different looking sort of circular, saucer type thing. And I was like, oh, okay, it's this special thing where it's engineered so that it can fly well, throwing it forward like that. But then I saw people using frisbees and able to, and I'm like, and I took my frisbee and I'm like, it just falls to the ground. And I'm like, how do you do it? It's so cool. I need to learn how to snap the wrist properly or something, but I think it's pretty cool. Once you learn how to do that, it seems fun,
Oh yeah.
Going to a big open park or whatever and just launching those things back and forth to each other seems fun to me. So I wouldn't say that that's not cool. I don't know if I call that a sport, mind you. I guess they have competitions. Do they have pro competitions though?
I'm sure they do. I know they do it at the college level, but it's a rec league at the college level.
Okay, yeah. Okay, interesting. Wow, that's still kind of impressive. So they have college teams.
Yeah.
Wow. What's up, David? Tuning in just now. Got to work to buy it. We know you're at work right now. Our friend David Barr here. He's all the way in Australia, 16 hours away from us right now.
Wow. Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, very cool. Jeff Wedding says, I played football, but lettered in tennis. Are you being serious? You played football in college? Let us know. I'm curious, Jeff.
That's awesome.
What's up, Jewish Dragons? Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Got to keep those hands from injury. Yeah, well, that's the thing, man. When you're a musician, yeah. I got a little kind of anecdote I can tell about musicianship and broken arms and wrists. Hello, David. Never played sports. Messed up my D&D club time. You fucking nerd. You know I had to do that to you, Tom. You know that. Shit. No, of course, everybody else is getting angry with me now, too, because there's quite a few people who are playing Dungeons and Dragons. I never played myself. Did you, George? Did you do the D&D thing at all?
No, I'm fascinated with the art. But I went to a convention one time where they were doing a tournament, and as we were walking in, there was a guy that hulked out, flipped a table, and I was like, I think I'm good.
Wow, hulked out playing D&D. That's pretty serious stuff there, Wow, frisbees and fatties, college. Nice, CJ. Nice. Well, you're a man of a different era. Let's just put it that way. Thank you, everybody, thanks for letting me know, Nick. I appreciate that. Getting the likes to 39. Awesome. Very, very appreciative to all of you. Thank you all. In high school. Okay, Jeff. Thank you. Oh, wow. 3 weeks in a row. Carl, all the way from Hawaii. Wow. What's up, man? Lovely to see you. Aloha to you, too. Was buying comics in college. So you went from football to comics. Wow. The nerddom came later. He was already a jock, and the jock turned into nerd. That's pretty sweet. You don't typically see that. That's pretty cool. Throw the spitty thing from the movie Crawl. Yeah, what is that thing? Yeah, with the claw-like thing? Whoa, that thing was always really cool. Tom says, we had a Starlog magazine club in junior high. We got together and would talk about movies and Starlog. Probably why we got beat up so much. See, what I love about it is that I always say, I come here and I tell the truth. I don't want to bullshit people. And I love the fact that it rubs off on everybody because people come into the live chat. They hang out every week with us. And they also tell their truths. even if it's embarrassing or potentially embarrassing, I love that. You know, that's good. You admit you got beat up so much, and in the process, you give us a little bit of a laugh. So thank you, Tom. I appreciate that. Played Little League until I realized I could get a babysitting job. A guy who went to get babysitting jobs? Man, you never saw that in my day. That's how I paid for comics. Well, good for you. You were smart, I guess. You were smart, you know. The glaive, did you misspell that? Don't know what that is. Glaive? Good day, good day, good day, good day. Hello to everybody. We only played hacky sack in high school. And now, see, even Karen's asking you, you mean the glaive? That's what he wrote, though. And he says, yes. I don't even know what both of you are talking about now. That's okay. I often never know what these people are talking about. It's always going over my head. High school wrestling and baseball from you. Wow, you were one of those high school wrestlers. Yeah, I like that. A lot of those guys are the guys who get into MMA because having a good wrestling base can lead you to pro fighting if you want to get into MMA. So that's pretty cool, Rick. Glaive is that's what it's called. Oh, wow. Never heard that. Never heard that. So thank you, Marcus. Thank you. And Karen, not surprisingly, knew what it was. Wow. Who remembers these details? I don't get you guys, man. Wow. Ruben Movie Hour. No, it won't be. Hey, there he is. There's the man. What's up, James? Lovely to see you. Good to see you, James. James Siegel, the Oklahoma Kid. And George Dragons finally, okay, Chess Club and the Model United Nations. Wow. Look at that. Okay, all right. So, everybody, George, you ready to get into this?
Let's do it.
Okay, sounds good. All right, everybody. So we are going to get into the show and tell portion of the show and tell episode that this is supposed to be. And let me see. Let's cue this up and check out what are we going to start. Okay, yes. So tell us a little bit about this first piece we're going to put out tonight. Thought it would be interesting to start off with something that would be a little bit more mainstream, I guess, by a big name artist. So let's check this one out, everyone.
And Ruben, everyone knows I have no idea what you picked, right? Like this is
no. They actually don't.
Okay.
they see, because most of the time I am the picker. But on rare occasions, it's the guest who has picked. But I do thank you for reminding me because I do usually end up telling everybody it was me or it was the guest, whatever. So yes, to make it official, everyone, George has no clue what I'm going to show tonight. Not only the order of what I'm showing, but he doesn't have any clues to what pieces I picked. So there you go. No, so it's a surprise to you as much as it is to them. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so let's put that Steranko piece back up.
All right. Well, I'm glad you picked this one. This was a dream piece.
Cool.
This was one early days of CAF. I can't remember the exact year. I'm seeing it was done in 2016, and it took a couple years to get it.
Okay.
But somebody posted, I think on CAF, there was some forum that Steranko was taking commissions. I can't remember if it was the CGC boards or somewhere else, but I immediately went to see if he was still had spots open, and I think he had taken 4 or 5 at that point, and reached out to him. He said he still had some spots open. You know, we talked through the concept, we talked through the price, and cap 110. Which, if you remember that cover, it's a yellow background and it's Cap facing off with Hulk. It's one of the 3, I think, Steranko covers that he did on those early Cap run. And this is actually an homage to one of the panels in the book.
Yes.
With some updates with the city in the background. But I had always just loved the pose, the perspective. There were so many panels from those books and covers from those books that I loved. So I was elated that I got on his list. It took a while to get, but I will say he was great about responding. You know, I would email him every 2-3 months. He'd always respond within a couple days. saying it's on his list. He's got a few other things to finish, and then ultimately he got to it. And I can't remember the gentleman, but there's a guy on CAF that has a piece from him that I think worked with Steranko. And the year this came out, I think it was the 75th anniversary of CAP. Marvel licensed 12 pieces, CAP pieces that Steranko had drawn. This was one of them to be Steranko variants every month that year.
Okay.
So not only was this a commission, it ended up becoming a published cover, which I never thought I'd get a commission. Never in my wildest dreams thought I'd own a Steranko cover.
What a way for it to work out, though, right? When that happens, because you're just happy enough to get it as a commission at all, right? Yeah. So this was all for you, Alberto. This is all for you, my hermano. Yeah, for sure. I did it for you. Yeah, look at James. George has 15 years on CAP right now. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, George has been around a lot longer than a lot of people think. That's for sure, Yeah, good things come to good people, George, says Nick. There you go. Look at that compliment.
Thanks, guys.
And commission becomes a cover. That's a dream. Yeah, it's really cool. Now, not to want to burst on whatever anybody's parade, but I will say, as a pet peeve, if I may, what I don't like with those situations is when collectors who own them, which I've seen happen a lot, when they always refer to them as, "Oh, look at my cover," and they purposely avoid mentioning that it was a commission that ultimately was used as a cover, and they want to try to pass it off as if it was always intended to be a cover by ignoring the fact that it was a commit. You know what I mean? It's just a little annoying. It is what it is. So why hide it? What's the problem? Just say it. It's it makes it cool for the story, right? To say, you can tell your story about how you got the commission, and then ultimately it ended up, how did it get up? Good. By the way, that's a good kind of segue, actually. How was it chosen? Do you know? Did anybody approach to ask you for a scan or anything like that?
No, I think at that point, Steranko maybe knew that Marvel wanted to license 12 CAP drawings from him.
Oh, okay.
So I think I'm assuming he knew. He couldn't tell me at that point when he shipped it to me that it was going to be a cover, but he did offer to buy it back when I was like, no way. Like I want the commission. I'm so excited for this. But yeah, I think he had drawn, of the commissions that he had done at that point, I think 90% of them were Captain America drawings. I think I saw like maybe a Batman and a Nick Fury.
Okay.
But I think it was basically that commission list. It was all brand new pieces that he had done. Some of them were colored, and several of them were published in black and white like that from the pencils.
Right. That's cool. David wants to know, what dimension is the Steranko board? Like what kind of a size is the paper that it's on?
Yeah, I'll have to double check, but I believe it was 11 by 14.
Okay. So close to a standard size.
And there's a border on that. So he drew maybe 9 by 12 was the actual art, something. Yeah. Oh, that's pretty good. That's very good at size, actually. Look at these guys. They're all shitting on me now, as they always like to do. So Marcus says, "Come on, that's a cover." I didn't say it's not a cover. First of all, listen to me when I speak. I choose my words carefully. And James, who I welcome so friendly, he's getting on my case now. Nah, it's a cover when it's published as a cover. But it is a commission, and it started that way. You can't deny that. Come on. I'm not saying it's not a cover, but I'm just saying don't deny it's a commission. Like, don't try to hide the fact that it was a commission. That's all I'm saying. Come on. David, I think it was, there you go. Look at you. You're ahead of me, way ahead of me. I'm trying. Yeah,
no, I appreciate that. Comic Up Boston, my good friend. I am sorry that I cannot stay long. Stopping by to register my like and say hello to George. Thank you. Great to see him in person. Thank you, Comic Up Boston. That's very lovely of you. And as usual, I thank you for not saying hello to me and only wanting to say hello to my friend in the studio. You guys are so nice to me as always. But have a nice day. Thank you. It graduated. What graduated? I don't know.
From a commission to a cover.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, exactly. There you go. Okay, excellent, everybody. So yeah, great piece, man. And I think that was a fun way to start off the show. So
Awesome.
let us go now to the next piece, everyone. And for that, I actually cheated. And because you, George, had a couple of pages that were consecutive from this artist, I wanted, I didn't want to add and make it, go over 20 different slides to show. So I figured I'll put 2 on one slide. I still had to make an extra slide because I had to make one for the black and white and then one for the color. But I love this artist. I love her work. So now you know what I'm probably talking about. Yeah, so this way people get to see a little bit more art than I otherwise would be able to show. So check this one out, everyone.
There we go.
Yeah, I love her work. I love her this especially. I've seen her do like a few different styles actually, but I really love this sort of Frank Miller-esque Sin City inspired stuff, because it still looks unique to her. Like it looks inspired rather than oh my God, she's a clone of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally agree with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Dani's someone I admired and had wanted some work from, but she seems to mostly do DC and some indie stuff. But this book was a kind of impulse buy, picked it up because of her art. And these pages I just fell in love with, specifically on that left page, that third panel with the couple sitting with the dog. I think really sealed it for me. But really all those panels have something beautiful. And that fourth panel, you get a little art in the art on the wall there. And then that page on the right, that character, I think it was a redesign of an old DC character I wasn't super familiar with, but I just thought the eyeballs on the fingers were crazy. Just thought the art was cool, basically.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, not only do I love her artwork, but these two particular pages, I mean, the interior architecture, everything in on that first page, everything inside the house, all of it. It's just there's so many beautiful things to look at. The attention to detail is fabulous, And then on the second page, what I love is I know nothing about the 10-eyed man. I believe that's what the character is called. 10-eyed man. Is that?
I honestly can't remember.
Okay.
This was like I think a 6-issue series, and then it was over. So I wasn't super, I didn't go super in depth with it, but I feel like it's a different name. I'll have to look it up.
Okay. I think it's the 10-eyed something. And I will tell you, George, that when I was grabbing the scans off your gallery, I can tell you I read the description you put, and I can tell you factually, you did at the time do your little bit of research so that you could write the name of this character. Yeah. And so I know that it's 10-eyed something. It
is 10-eyed man. You're right.
Yeah. Well, anyways, for those of you who want to prove us right or wrong, please feel free to go into the description below the video, and you can click on one of the many links I have for George down below for all the necessary comic and music related links that he's got. They're all down there, including his cap gallery. So if you want to prove us right or wrong, go to the cap gallery and check it out, and check out under Dani, and let us know if you want to.
And Ruben, I will say I saw Alberto's comment earlier that he did a post with a description. This is why the descriptions are great, because you can look back a few years after the fact and see why did I buy this page? What was I thinking at the time? What was the story? Because I don't read a ton of comics, but read a few a month, and over time, I can't remember every story, every comic, every character. So it's great to have those descriptions.
Yeah, no, I absolutely, and on my shows, we have often gone off on tangents and talked about etiquette, like the unwritten rules for cap etiquette, and one of the many rules that we always say, about people who enjoy getting like if it matters to you to receive comments, if you're one of those people who, you would like to receive comments, one of the things that are part of the etiquette is that if you want to encourage people to leave you more comments, you should definitely leave a description with your artwork, because a lot of us who like to leave comments for people, it kind of feels like if I go to your page and I like, oh yeah, cool page, I immediately go down and I want to see what the person has to say about it. And when I see a blank description field, I'm so demoralized. I'm like, you have nothing to say about it? Like, really? I'm like, okay, if you got nothing to say about it, then I don't feel like leaving a comment, because like, why should I say anything if I don't even know what you think about this piece? You know what I mean? I don't know. That's how I feel about it. I know a lot of other people feel the same way. I don't like seeing empty descriptions. Let's just leave it that way, How do you feel about that, George?
I mean, I understand how much easier it is to just post a piece.
Of course. Well,
but I'm with you. I enjoy reading about, if there's a story about how the person got the art or a reason that they were drawn to the art. I enjoy reading that. So I appreciate when people put descriptions and put some background.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate that. And yes, Mr. Red Jack confirmed the 10-eyed man. Yes.
Awesome. Thank you.
And Rick wants us to know the 10-eyed man is greater than Cyclops.
That's always good math. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Always with the great Cyclops hate, That's so funny. Cyclops and Nissan 9 brothers. Oh my God. Okay. I wrote a description just for you, Ruben. On what? On which? I haven't looked. I haven't checked the art, I think, for today. Definitely not today. Maybe not yesterday. I don't remember. But okay, don't worry. I'll be there. I'm following your gallery, so relax, man. I'll be there. Girl, I love reading the context of why someone loves and bought a page. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's what makes it fun. It's not just about, it shouldn't, at least it shouldn't be, I feel, only about just looking at a piece of art. Like, it's the story behind it and what you love about it. I mean, think about it. Part of the reason I love to do show and tells, and I'll be honest, my absolute primary reason is actually not because I want to look at and talk about art. For me, the show and tells is more about letting more people in the hobby get to know the collectors a little bit more than just a name online, so I'm more about the social aspect of it. That's why I do it under the guise that it's a show and tell, but I love looking at art too, of course. And the best part of a show and tell for me is you not only get the show, you get the tell. I love the tell part. That, you know what I mean? So I've always loved that. So yeah, more descriptions, people, even if it's just a brief one, just something, but just don't leave it blank, Okay, excellent. So love those pieces, George. I'm glad I could have shown those. Yeah. So really happy. Let's go on to the next piece, everybody. And for that, we go to, I believe it is a couple of classic artists that I love. And I'm sure many of you do too. Check this one out.
Hey, there we go.
Yeah, Buscema and Sienkiewicz from '89 on Wolverine, first year of the first regular Wolverine series.
Yeah, this takes me right back to being in the comic shop as a kid. This is like as nostalgic as it gets for me is these pages, these old Wolverine stories. This one I believe I bought from Koch Comic Art.
Oh yeah,
early on, and I'm sure, like many of us, you look back and kick yourself. They had like 8 pages that all went on their website at the same time. And at the time, I think I could only afford like 1 or 2. And I picked up this one and another one. And then I think, a couple weeks later, I got paid again. And I went back and they still had, I think, 1 or 2 on their site. And I picked those up. But can't get enough of these. This was, I think, the Peter David story. And I want to say it was a couple issue, maybe 2 or 3 issues where there's this long car chase and fight scene going on.
Oh, yes.
And just love this page because you got a little bit of the car chase with the police up there. And just some great Wolverine patch fighting action with the brothers there. I can't remember their names off the top of my head.
Yeah, me neither. I haven't read it since it came out, so I there's no way I'm remembering that, you know.
Yeah, it probably says it in the dialogue, but my eyes aren't that good. So.
No, exactly. Likewise.
But
yes,
yeah, I mean, these two artists together, man. I have a whole new enjoyment as an adult looking back on these and appreciating the art, which is a really cool thing.
Yeah, I've never heard anybody say that, Rick. Buscema, I like that. The Buscema, Wolverine pages. That's a good one. I like it. And Cab, Comic Art Boston, who we affectionately know as Cab, because his name is too long to say, wants to congratulate you on a really nice page by two great artists. Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah, it's fabulous. Yeah. All right, excellent. Okay, let us go directly from there into our first. I just gave it away. Our first piece of music-related artwork. This one I kind of did for me, and Marcus will know why. Let's check this out. Well, once you start talking about it and people realize what's going on the page, then everybody, more people will know why. But let's check this one out, everybody.
Hey, there we go.
2008 Magazine, number 431, page 74 by Dave Taylor from just a few years ago.
So if it's not obvious, the band on stage is Rush. So are you a big Rush fan, Ruben, or is it the 2008 connection?
No, it's Rush.
Okay.
Yeah. I can I say I'm a big Rush fan? No, I didn't. I wasn't one of those guys who rushed out and got, no pun intended, and got all their albums or anything. I was more of a sort of, for me, they're like the greatest hits type band where, and they have tons of them, of course, but they probably, for me, I can put up all the songs that I listen to from them. I can probably make up maybe, 2 or 3 albums worth of songs. You know what I mean? So to me, that's the kind of band they are.
That's a good thing, though. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. No, so definitely, I love a lot of the songs. Let's just say that. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I always loved Neil Peart and admired Neil Peart's, musicianship on the drums.
Yep.
Geddy Lee's, unique voice. So yeah, and I love that. Yeah, you recognize Geddy Lee about to fall off the stage almost right there. So I love it. But let me let you talk about this.
Yeah, this was one. I'm a fan of Dave Taylor's work. I feel like he's done a lot of work, and some people know him. You may not recognize him, that you've seen his work, but he's done some great Batman books, a lot of Judge Dredd and work with 2000 AD, and got to work with him on a piece for the Jack the Radio music comics that I do. So was talking to Dave about music, and I think back in the day he played a lot of drums, and if you can't tell, was a big Rush fan. I think most drummers our age and even older are huge Rush fans. Like you said, Neil Peart was pretty epic drummer, pretty influential guy. So he worked them in a page. I saw this page online. For better or worse, Dave primarily does a lot of his. I know he did like the Batman by Design, all in pencil, and I think he did the majority of this Megatropolis book in pencil. So basically just reached out to Dave to see if he still had this, if he was on the Rush page, and was excited to pick this up. Trying to figure out, might have to talk to Mikhail about doing an overlay to get that bottom panel. I think Dave just, flipped it digitally to get that bottom panel. But I still love it. That middle panel. Even the top 3 panels with the character kind of falling from the sky onto the scene there is pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's great. Comic Art Boston's asking, because he hasn't checked your gallery in detail yet, but do you have a DWJ Murder Falcon page at all?
That is a regret. Sadly, I have no Murder Falcon art. I only have one DWJ piece, but I love that series. I'm just not fast enough, basically.
Yeah, like everybody else, right?
Like most of us.
Yeah.
But luckily, one of the guys that I think owns a full issue lives a couple hours away from me, so I've seen a lot of the art in person.
Okay.
It's pretty awesome.
Okay, cool. On this particular page, George, Dan. Hi, by the way, Dan. Good to see you. By any chance, do you know if there was anybody who was famous in the crowd scene there?
I haven't taken the time to really research that, but I was curious myself if there was any Easter eggs, any famous people in there that Dave stuck in.
Okay,
but I don't know. If anyone recognizes any faces in there, that'd be cool.
Yeah. I mean, I would doubt it, only because there's not, if you think about it, there's not very many where you can see the faces anyways.
Yep.
Probably a handful at best. So that doesn't mean those people couldn't be well known.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't recognize anyone, so I'm gonna go with probably it's only the Roche members.
Yep.
And Rick says the same thing. Nobody recognizable. So.
Yep.
But yeah, very cool. Yeah, so that was fun. Yeah, I like it.
That one.
I like it for the again, not only for Rush, but because I love I'm a lifelong music fan myself, and
yep.
So mixing music and art and comic art, like two loves, two passions, like what can be greater,
Oh yeah, and I'll add, I feel like Dave Taylor isn't the fastest artist, but I feel like he's so talented. I mean, just the faces and expressions I feel like are great. And he's got a little bit of the coming from the Mobius camp of like art and design. I feel like does some beautiful art, and I hope he gets more recognition for his art as time goes on.
Yeah, unfortunately, he falls into that category of which many artists do, where there are a lot of fabulously talented comic book artists in this field who don't get any appreciation, for a variety of reasons. We're not going to get into them, but he's one of those, he's just, and that's just whatever. It is what it is, Okay, excellent. But a lot of fun to show that. From there, we're going to go to mainstream again, everyone, mainstream superhero, and an homage type piece that I thought was kind of fun. I wanted to show. And I figured you guys like this kind of homage stuff as well, so it's kind of also why I picked it. Let's check this one out.
Hey, there we go.
And I love Jorge Molina too, so that's also kind of why I wanted to do it.
Yeah, this was I feel like our earlier Molina piece, and this is one of those weird ones. This was a shop variant, but I just thought the homage was so cool.
Yeah,
I thought this, the Lady Thor was such a cool idea, and I love the spin. Pun not intended, but for this that Molina took, and I thought, I think at this time he was mostly doing, pen and ink work. He hadn't really gotten to his like tonal work that we see more of today. And this one I felt like was a little bit more detailed on his pen and ink work from some of the other covers that I had seen. Okay. So was excited to grab it.
Yeah, it's cool. And was this one that you grabbed back when it was like a brand new piece?
Yeah, it was brand new, and okay. I think at the time he was selling all his art on his own website, and he would occasionally, you just had to randomly check. There was no Nerdcrawler or any of these websites that I knew of, at least, that would let you know when people updated their site. So I would just randomly, once a week, go check out his site and see if he had posted anything new, and snag this one shortly after it came out, but it was around the time the book came out.
Okay. So awesome, says Karen. Love how Jane is posed and swinging the hammer. It is. Karen's a big Thor fan in general. And Karen, I just want you to know, Karen, obviously when I picked this one, I was thinking of you, but I actually wasn't sure. We've never spoken about whether you cared about Lady Thor. And I know you don't read money. Karen doesn't. She's actually one of the rare people in this hobby who got into it specifically. She didn't grow up with comics at all.
Wow.
And she got into it at the age of, I believe it was 31, for the art specifically. Oh, wow. And hasn't read all that many comics. So it's a pretty interesting story. So so I don't know. Let me know. Let us know, Karen, if you ever cared about Lady Thor, or if you even ever got the time to read Lady Thor. I don't know. What is, does she actually have a name other? Is it she just Thor?
I mean, Jane Foster. I don't know.
It's just Jane Foster, right? Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's Thor. Yeah.
Okay. Rick, better in black and white. I got to tell you, Rick, you know me, I'm always the guy I'm the first one to say, complain about the colors. I'm the first guy. I admit it. But you also know that when credit is due, I give it. And I have to say, I actually quite enjoy the subdued color palette here, especially the sky background. Mm-hmm. So I like it. I think it's subdued and yeah, I think it's nice. But yes, I always prefer without color. But I do like the colors here. I can't complain. George and Ruben, I'm very sorry, but need to check out now. We'll catch the rest of the show on Rewind. Lovely homage to Jim83. Thank you very much, Cap. Thank you. Have a great day, great evening, and we will catch you next time. Thank you. Yeah, and me too, says CW. And Karen tells us Thor is better, but great art is great art. There you go. Thanks, Karen. That's awesome. Shane Rubin, what are you coming down on me for? You never mentioned a woman's age. Oh, whatever. If they're willing to offer it up, then it's okay. And I asked her by the way, Mr. Red Jack, as you know, when we did the show and tell with Karen, right? That was number 17. I did to her what I do to everybody. I asked, if you don't mind, do you mind telling us your age? Just so we can follow along with the timeline when people tell us their, background history, whatever. That's all. So keep it to yourself there, Mr. Red Jack. How about that? Me so thorny. There we go. There's your music-related comment to this piece, George.
Perfect.
The two live crews here. Is what she called herself in the comics. What if? What?
Yeah, so Jane Foster actually appeared with the hammer, with a different helmet.
Oh, Thor.
Yeah.
Oh.
Years and years ago. This is a slightly different version. I don't know. I'm not the expert here, but this is a slightly different story, different version of the character.
Yeah. No, I get it. That's cool. Whatever. It's a cool cover. So. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, really enjoyed seeing that in your gallery. So I figured, I think people will like it. So I'll share it. Okay, excellent. Let us move to the next one, everybody. And for that, let us go to this.
Ooh, okay.
I love Michael Lark, and I love what Gaudiano does to Lark's pencils. So yes. Love it. Yeah.
Yeah, this was another one of those books that I was reading regularly when I really got back into comics as an adult. So yeah, cool. It was 2008. I think this book, there were some really great covers. I think like Marco Jurjevic was doing some of these covers, and Aja did a really cool like black and white with some red in it for Lady Bullseye. So it was just drawn and appreciated Daredevil. So I started picking these up and loved. I'm not usually like a lover of like super realistic looking art. Like I usually want my comics to be kind of cartoony,
comic booky.
But I felt like this art worked perfectly for this kind of crime, somewhat dramatic storytelling that Brubaker was doing, and absolutely love Lark's art on this, and yeah, with you on the ink work. And the process was really interesting. This was kind of, early in my realizing that the art was out there, but realizing that not everybody did pencil and ink on the same board,
right? And
learning about like blue line printouts, and I don't know if you have the graphic here, but Lark did the pencils on a sheet, and then I think would digitally send the file to Stefano to do the inks, and you can see.
I apologize, George. I usually, with pages like created this way, in the past with every other show and tell, I have done that. there was a little glitch on my part. I don't want to get into it, but I do not have the slide with the pencils and the inks, you know.
So. No worries. But I mean, this was like really informing me of like, oh, there's more than one way to make a comic book art. But seeing some of the backgrounds added digitally in the blue line, you can see on that ink page, and then just seeing how it all came to life with the color and the lettering as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And Karen says, really cool piece. Love the blue in the original. How is that done? That's actually blue line, Karen. That's just the copying of the pencils.
Yep. Yeah. So it's printed on the board
right.
from Yep.
Yeah. So he basically Gaudiano has to print out the scan of the penciled page, and so he prints it out in blue, and that's you know how he goes ahead and inks over top of it. And for anybody else who doesn't know how this process works, as you can see, for example, in the first, second, and third panels, especially, all that blue that you see there will end up not being picked up unless it's ultimately inked over. But Gaudiano also does finished inking on the computer. So I don't know if you know that, George.
No, I didn't. No.
Yeah. So their process is admittedly quite complex. But yeah, and let me hold on before I show Rick's comment. Mike here was saying, I've seen single panels flipped, but this is the first seeing the entire page flipped. And I admit, me too. This was the first time I saw that.
And the only thing I can think, so this one, there's actually the inks were done on both sides of the board. So there's actually 2 pages.
Right.
Page 18 was inked on the other side of page 19. So I don't know if it was an accident that he printed the page backwards.
Right. Right. Yeah, it was a weird one. When I was looking at it as I was saving it from your gallery, I was like, wait a second, it's printed. The way it's printed, it's backwards. Like it's, I was trying to be a detective and try to figure it out. I was like, wow, but it's very unique. Yeah, so it'd be interesting to see, like you said, because of the fact that there was a page 18 is on the other side of this board. Who knows? It might have been some weird screw up he did or whatever. I doubt he does this all the time. I'll go with that. You know. Yeah.
The other pages I have from this series, they're all the same direction as the published page. So,
okay. There you go. So we know. Yeah. Then we know that this was more of a one-off type thing. Yep. You know. Yeah. Okay. Excellent. Very, very lovely. And I had heard a lot about this. Daredevil series back when I was hearing a lot of great stuff back when Malieve was doing his run, and then during the Lark run. Would you say it was like great? Because I've heard nothing but really strong like things about it, but I just never tried it, you know.
I loved it, and I'll admit I haven't read the issue. I think Lark came in like issue 88 maybe, or somewhere around there, and I think I came in at like 110 whenever the Lady Bullseye arc started. Okay. Was right when I was picking up, and then that ran into Daredevil 500, and then a new artist joined at that point. It was Rob De La Torre, who's another great artist.
Yeah, we'll check out some Rob De La Torre a little bit later.
Awesome.
Yeah. Long message from Juice Dragons. I think the page makes sense the way that it's printed, as the photographer is saying, "Where are you?" in panel 1, and then the next panel is Kingpin in the camera viewfinder. I don't know. Let me just quickly go back and see. So let me see. Let me get your comment back up here and see what you're saying, Jewish Dragons. So the way that it's printed, but that's why we're saying though, why draw it the other way and then print it this way? Photographer is saying that there is, where are you in panel 1? Okay, next panel is Kingpin in the camera viewfinder. I don't know, man, but we'll go with it. Why not? Another detective in our midst, apparently. So no, but it's great. Yeah, one day when I have the time, who knows? It might be retirement, but I would like to sit. There's so many books I have to read. Right? So we all have piles and piles of trade paperbacks lying around, right? And I'm no different. But that's one of those things. That long run, which I believe a lot of it was written by Bendis. Is that right?
That arc was Brubaker.
Oh, Brubaker. Okay, yeah. Sorry, but it earlier before him. It was Bendis. Was that?
It could have been. Yeah, I feel like the Malieve stuff was Bendis.
The Malieve. Yeah. That's right. Okay. Yeah. Right. So I've heard a lot of great stuff about that run and then this run. So one day I was like, man, like I've heard nothing but positive stuff. That would be cool to sit around and read 100 or whatever issues of just Daredevil, especially if it's that good. Like, yeah, I can dig into that,
Yep.
So, okay, very cool. Marcus is telling us backwards for the Japanese market because they read left to right. Yeah, nice. I doubt it was for that reason. Good try, though. All right, everyone. Let us jump to the next piece. And this one is a piece that I picked because George got it recently. And I figured he's still super hot on it because it's so recent. And so I figured, we'll see what he has to say about it live to everyone. So let's take a look at this one.
Hey, there we go.
And by the way, George, I also wanted to put it up because I like to expose newer artists to new people, and including myself, because I never, until I saw this in your gallery and I commented on it, I had not heard of this guy.
Oh yeah, and I only know of him because of a couple variant covers that he's done.
Okay.
And I honestly have never heard his last name said out loud. In my head, it's Nick Roche, but I don't know if it's Roche.
Yeah. I was thinking Roche, Roche. Yeah, but I don't know if there's an actual accent on the E, then it would be Roche, but yeah.
Yeah, I want to say he's in the UK, so I don't know if that helps. You're better, I feel like, at the last name pronunciation than I
am. Well, if I knew what his background was, then I could more easily tell you if it would be Roche or Roche, right? But I don't know his background, so.
Yeah, and this one, I picked up one other cover from him, I think last year or the year before, that he did for the new Fantastic Four relaunch series. And that was really when I got introduced to his art. I know he's done a lot of Transformers covers and Transformers stuff. And I think some other work. I think he recently redesigned a new X-Force, or redesigned an X-Force character for an upcoming book. Okay. But I think he's got a lot of energy to his work. If you look at some of his other pieces, I feel like there's a lot of movement in his pieces. This one I thought was like extra great with the movement and energy. I thoroughly enjoyed some of the earlier Cosmic Ghost Rider books. I haven't read this one. I've picked up a couple issues. I've heard mixed reviews, specifically from my buddy Rob, who is the Cosmic Ghost Rider guy.
Yeah, Rob's the Cosmic Ghost Rider. He might as well legally change his name to Cosmic Ghost Rider. Let's put it that way.
And I did talk to Rob. I was like, "Hey, man, I'm thinking about getting this." And I knew Rob. Rob is very focused with his collection, not just with Cosmic Ghost Rider, but he generally doesn't go for some of the variant covers.
Right.
So I did reach out to him because I love Rob and I love his collection. But he was very generous. He's like, no, I'm not going for that. So I did pick this one up. And man, I just thought it was cool from the pose, riding through the rings of Saturn or whatever planet this is. And then I loved, talking about the black and white versus color. I love how they incorporated the chain with the logo.
Yep. Yeah, me too. That's always fun. I don't think I've ever heard anybody who was into comics ever sort of say, "Oh, I really hate when they try to put the art and incorporate it into the logo." You know what I mean? Yeah, I can't say I've ever heard anyone, not even a single person. So yeah, that's always pretty cool. Yeah, it's really neat. Although having said that, I do love that. See, that's one of the things I love about original art and being, a fan of it. And just even if you're not a collector, if you like to look at it, I love the fact that allows you, especially in the modern era, to see it all, because you can see how much of the art is actually obscured by the logo,
Yeah.
In the printed comic. So yeah,
Thanks, Carl.
to see everything else. I mean, it's a lot of detail that they put in. So yeah, it's kind of nice to just see the pure art,
Yeah, I know Berkey always talks about the bricks, but I mean, look at those rocks, man.
The rocks, man. The rocks, exactly. And to me, they look kind of George Perez-y rocks.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah. That's what it reminded me of his kind of rubble that he would do in the new Teen Titans, So yeah, I thought that was a really, really, really cool piece. So
Awesome.
yeah, wanted to show that. Excellent. Everyone, from there, we are going to do another little bit of comics melding with music.
Ooh.
And really wanted to do this. I've always loved these pieces since I saw them in your gallery, George. And yeah, I think of all the music, again, since I was telling you before we went live, that I can't always just pick stuff that I'm gonna like and want hope that you talk about. I got to pick things that I think would be more suitable that everybody watching would want to sort of see. And so this one I've chosen because it's very comic booky as well as related to music. Okay. And just like the earlier piece at the top of the show, I didn't want to just do one piece, so I put two pieces onto the.
All right, I think I know which one it is now.
Okay. Same artist for both pieces, and so let's take a look at this.
Oh, okay.
Oh, so you didn't know? You thought it was?
No, I didn't know. But I'm glad you picked this one.
Okay, cool.
Or this pair. This is another was kind of bucket list. The artist is Alan Forbes, longtime music artist. This was another guy, growing up in my formative years, was doing a lot of stuff with the Black Crowes. And other bands, doing a lot of concert posters. He's a California guy. He's like a San Francisco, Berkeley area. So all the big shows that would come through, he would do a lot of stuff there. These are more recent. These are 2015. I snagged the one on the left, the Rhino homage, the Spidey is Amazing Spider-Man 41, 42. I can't remember offhand.
41, 40, 41, whatever.
40? Yeah, okay. Yeah.
People know it.
Yeah. I snagged this one, and the Doom was in another collector's collection. I can say Brian Peck. And Brian has some awesome Alan Forbes pieces.
Yeah, he's got a ton of them.
Yeah, I love looking at his gallery. And after I posted the Rhino, I reached out to Brian, and he was kind enough to let me reunite it with the Rhino piece. So thrilled to have these two.
CJ is letting us know it's 41. There we go. Yeah.
Thanks, CJ.
Yeah. Thank you, CJ. Yeah.
And
just sorry, George. Give me a second, because I'm not sure if you're being facetious, Rick. Are you asking what this is? It's just, I don't know if you're being facetious or if it's being serious, but in case you're serious, it's two separate concert posters. That's what the dates are at the bottom. So the one on the left is the concert that they played on 4/20 of 2015 in Warfield. And the other one a couple of days later. Concerts by Faith No More. So there you go. Sorry, George, go ahead.
No. And I mean, I think it's a fair question, since there's not a lot of concert posters outside of Brian's gallery and maybe my gallery on CAF. But yeah, I was a huge Faith No More fan in high school and college. Huge Mike Patton fan.
Oh my God. I sorry, George. I got to interrupt you again. I should have known better. Oh my God.
Uh-oh.
Of course. What is it? What is it?
Oh, yep. Should have known.
Okay. Sorry about that, Rick. Sorry.
I
should have had more faith in you. Sorry, George. Sorry, man.
No. It's good. But a fun fact about these, Alan Forbes draws very small. So these pieces are actually around like 8.5 by 11 inch.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And he really knows how to get a lot of detail in. into a small space, and I was able to pick up the posters. The posters are like 18 by 24 inches, so it's kind of humorous to look at the art next to the actual poster. But it's amazing what he can do on a tiny space.
No, it's really, really cool, man. Yeah, they're really, really nice. Yeah. And the thing is, I found interesting is I found Doom looks almost, you could say, not changed from the comics, other than, is that supposed to be an eye? It's the eye, right?
It is, yeah.
Right. But whereas the Rhino, I don't know, it looks a little bit more changed with the whole video screen face and the eye and the Q. Yeah, interesting. But I love the rendering. I love his rendering, you know?
Yep.
It's really, really, really cool. CW tells us Mr. Bungle was the best show I ever saw.
Wow. And I think they just announced they're going on tour.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Interesting. Wow. Oh, and sorry, everyone. I forgot to do this. I wasted my time making this slide for nothing. Here we go. This is the published posters for everyone, so you can see the colored versions. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, and like you were saying, George, I love, concert posters. You just don't. I mean, you don't see a lot of music art in general. Let's put it that way. Which is why I love it. It's fun. It's the melding of music and comics. That's part of the reason. Not only because if you're passionate about both of those things, but as an original art fan, you don't see enough of the music originals, right? So when you do, it's like so cool,
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I mean, honestly, I always wished if I could have, I would have collected original like album art. I would have like the classic stuff, right? Like primarily, right? From back in the days when there were albums, so 60s, 70s, 80s, whatever. But it's like it's so rare that you can't collect it because it's rare, right? It's not out there. And because it's so rare, when you see the occasional piece come up, like it's really expensive.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's wild because I try to search for it, and most of the time either the label owns it,
right,
or the artist got it,
right.
And so when it does come up, I think there was one at Sotheby's. It was a Beastie Boys. Is it Licensed to Ill? The one with the airplane?
Yeah.
It was the prelim for it, but it looked almost like the final. I'm sure the label.
Wait.
Or someone owns it. Yeah.
Lifetime Beastie Boys fan. Where did you say you saw this?
Sotheby's had a hip hop auction.
Oh, okay. And you know what it sold for?
Yeah, I was bidding.
Okay. Oh my God, really? Oh my God. Okay, hit me with the bad news or the good news. I hope it was too expensive for me to afford.
I'll give a little context, but
okay.
When they posted it, they do like a estimate. Like what it's estimated to sell for. The estimate was $5,000 to $8,000.
Oh my God. Okay.
So I was like, all right, I can sell some stuff. I got a chance here.
Okay.
I was, the high bid for like a week or so, and then I think it ended up the last day going up to like $140,000.
Wow.
And that's
for the prelim.
The prelim, and it looked pretty close to the final, but it wasn't the final cover.
No, I'm assuming pencil only.
It looked. There was some color, so it was mixed media, but it was mostly
mixed media. But you could tell it wasn't finished, like the finished.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Because let me tell you, years ago, being a big Beastie Boys fan, I hunted. I was like, oh my God, if I could find that album cover, And I found the artist, but I couldn't reach him, or I tried reaching him, but he just wouldn't respond or whatever. So I never even knew, like, does he have it? Does he even? I just want to know, do you have it or not? That's all. Yeah. If I could at least know that, but I couldn't even find that out. It was like, so I was like, shit. It would be too frustrating to get into collecting music art because it's just too hard to find. It's hard to reach these people and find them, and it's like, wow.
Yeah, and some of the artists still have them. I can't remember the guy's name off the top of my head, but the guy that did Green Day's Dookie recently joined Instagram, and he's been posting some of his art from those days.
Wow.
But I don't know if he owns it. He's been posting pictures, so it's possible these are old pictures. But
okay,
it's cool to see. I'm with you. Of like, I just want to know where it is. I want to know. I want to know.
Yeah, you want to know it exists first of all, to be sure about that, and then where's it been all these years? Oh gosh. And by the way, number one Marvel fan says, Tom, let us know on Pawn Stars. You're saying you saw on an episode of Pawn Stars the Beastie Boys art?
What?
Or are you talking about something else? Let us know, Tom. I know it's going to take you 15 seconds for us to see your answer because of the delay, but please let me know. I'm curious. Because that would at least then tell us who brought it in to the Pawn Stars. So who owned it, right? Which would let us know who was it that consigned it at Sotheby's, And by the way, George, whenabouts was that auction?
It was in the past 2 years.
Oh, so really recent.
Yeah.
Wow. And Tom is telling us, yeah, he's confirming that one, that Beastie Boys piece was brought in by somebody. I wish I could track that. Hey, Tom, I don't want you to go to the trouble, all right, if it's too much trouble, but if you happen to know roughly what season, maybe, I don't know, I can look online and then try to find out the details of every episode. And I'd love to try to track down the episode and check it out,
That'd be cool, yeah.
Yeah, that'd be that. And then I can at least also get to see it. Chumley was not impressed. Chumley. A music art dealer was selling a lot of art. Oh, and Rick bought it, you think?
Oh, wow.
Oh, and then maybe Rick is the one who then consigned it, right? Because that's what Rick does. He buys shit for resale, right?
Oh, yeah. They auction stuff from that shit, yeah.
Yeah. Mike says, having the established comic art market helps so much in being above to even find pieces. I don't understand the grammar there. Having the established comic art market, helps so much in being
able, I think.
Able to even find pieces. Thanks, George. Yes. To find pieces. You can appreciate this when trying to find other art, like music art. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, thanks, Mike. Yeah, that's a good comment there. Calling an expert. Best I can do is call Ruben. And that ain't no good. Was the episode with all the Michael Jackson photo art as well? Rick paid $150K for the entire lot. Wow. Okay. Interesting. Well, thank you. I don't know. I'm not going to go searching for that, but yeah, that's really cool. Yeah. And I appreciate you bringing that up, George. That's so awesome, especially because it's the Beastie Boys. I love them, man. And so the fact that you were willing to go after it, does that mean you were a big fan of theirs as well?
Oh, absolutely. Oh, yeah. Cool. Ill Communication was like my crossover from hip hop into rock as a kid. Yeah. Okay.
Cool. That's awesome. I always loved the original art for Love Gun by Ken Kelly. Well, sure. All those Kiss albums. Yeah, they're awesome. They're also cool. I love those, the Kiss solo albums, the 4 solo albums. With their faces or whatever. That'd be cool to have too. And that's the thing about music art is that I would buy it. It's so cool. I would buy like again, I'm talking Kiss. I would buy those Kiss album covers, those painted covers. And I'll tell you right now, I don't consider myself a Kiss fan. I like some songs, maybe like one album's worth of songs, ish. That's about it. But I would still definitely buy the artwork for their albums because they're so cool. You know what I mean?
Totally.
Yeah, that's music. It just it speaks to us, on so many levels. No Sleep Till Brooklyn, exactly. AC, what's up, man?
Hey, Ed.
Good to see you, man.
And fun fact, I'll say I was in Phoenix recently. My wife had a thing there, so I got to tag along. Got to meet Ed in person.
Oh, cool!
And Khalil as well. So had a great time hanging out.
Awesome.
And seeing some art as well.
Awesome. Yeah, it's always fun to meet everybody. It's easy to find, Ruben. Just Google Pawn Stars and okay, cool. Thanks, Carl. Great. I appreciate that. 5-minute clip, and you don't have to dig. Okay, good. So you Googled it, and you can see the actual episodes show up, and I just click play. Is that what you're talking about? I hope so. because I don't want to have to join any site or anything like that just to see it. But thank you, Carl. I appreciate that. And yeah, man, I appreciate that. Good to see you too. I love Ed, you know, because I follow, we follow each other on Instagram, and you know, being a family guy myself, he's always posting photos of him and his son. I just love to see, you know, a good dad, you know, and trying to give his son the best life possible. And it's always like, I love seeing his pictures of that, you know. So really cool.
Super cool kid, super well behaved.
So you met him?
Yeah.
He was with him.
He was a trooper. We looked at art for a while, and he did great.
Awesome. Yeah, it's always good to hear. Wasn't the original artwork for Destroyer lost? I don't know.
That makes me sad if it was.
there's no established market for this stuff, so it's like we don't know the stories of this stuff. You hear rumors or whatever, but I don't know. I haven't even heard that rumor. So I if there was more of a market for this, I would dig deep into the history of it all, and you know, I'd love to know all the stories.
I just assumed Gene Simmons owned it all because he basically bought all the rights to everything from everyone in that band.
That's true too.
He's just got it all. So
and plus he was a comic collector. He probably owns art, whatever. Yeah, exactly. So I'd love to see the original art to Earth, Wind, and Fire LPs. Mark's a big fan of Earth, Wind, and Fire. Now, I'd like to see all that stuff. 60s, 70s, 80s, especially those 3 decades. Oh my gosh. It was fun, says Ed. Nice finally getting to meet people in the community. There you go. I'm watching the videos now. Art dealer expert said Beastie Boys art worth about $5K. Well, but then again, there's nothing, Tom, there's nothing to compare to. You got to. So I kind of understand. Listen, I would never have guessed it would have been 100. What was it, George? 140,000?
It was it was somewhere around 140. It's been a while, but yeah.
Yeah. Some ridiculous 6-figure piece. I would not have been shocked for the finished painting to go for a 6-figure piece.
Yeah.
But like the prelim, you know, whatever. Like who knows? There's no comps out there, you know? Very few comps. I can tell for those of you interested, one comp just a few years ago. I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 years ago. The album cover for I'm blanking. Metal Health, 1982, 83, with the Dr. Doomish looking mask. Anyways, the early 80s metal band, Bang Your Head. Mental health will drive you, man. That song. Anyways, that album cover. So, you know, if you were around watching videos in 1983 in that era, you would have known this band. And that album cover sold at auction for around 40 or 42K.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's like a small metal band, not a huge one, you know. And the prop they used of this sort of Dr. Doom-ish looking cover, that prop, the actual prop, that metal looking face mask, that also was auctioned off, and that went for like around 40K.
Wow.
You know? Yeah. So that's the thing. So I'd love for it to be an established market, but it's like you and I put together, George, we wouldn't be able to afford this stuff anyways, I guess, at this point, you know? So, well.
And you got to think the people also influenced by Beastie Boys, some of these other musicians out there, probably famous hip hop artists, famous musicians that were probably going for it. Even if we somehow magically got 140K together, we probably still would have gotten outbid.
Yeah. I mean, man. Rick Rubens is jealous. It's the He's doing the lyrics again. I love that. That's a good one, man. I love that lyric. It's the Beastie Boys. Yeah, I love it. And let me see. Oh, and thanks, George, for dropping in the Sotheby's link, man.
Yeah, it was 138,600 was the final.
Awesome. You rounded up to 140 grand. Yeah, especially if you probably had to pay tax on it or whatever, right?
Yeah, I'm sure there's other shipping, tax.
Yeah.
I've never bought anything from them, so I have no idea what other fees there are. But.
Yeah. Oh, so Tom says Rick had passed. The guy he wanted $50K. Wow.
Would have been a good buy.
So interesting. Yeah, there you go. Ed knew it. Thank you. Quiet Riot. Yeah, you've never heard of Quiet Riot, George?
I didn't know you were singing it. Aren't they? We're Not Gonna Take It. No,
that's Twisted Sister.
That's Twisted Sister. Okay.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
That's a little before my time.
That's a little before your time. That's why. Yeah, it's a decade earlier. Yeah. Thanks, Ed. Appreciate it, man. As with everything, it's what people are willing to pay for it. No, it's for sure. And that's what I'm thinking. If any of this stuff that's even relatively well known comes out, I think it's all going to go for good money. You know. I got my one piece of music art, and I've never posted it, so I don't want to really talk about it.
Ooh. You have to tell me after the show.
Okay, sure. Sounds good. I always meant to kind of post it into my gallery, but I was like, yeah, but it's like the only piece of music. Like, why bother? Like, I'll just keep it and enjoy it by myself, kind of thing. Whatever. I don't know.
Oh, you got to post it, man. You got to post it.
I know I should, but I'll tell you after the show.
Okay.
Quiet Riot. Yeah, thank you all. Thank you. Appreciate it. Room the Riot. Quiet Riot. Yeah, Randy Rhodes was in Quiet Riot before Ozzy. That's true. Thanks, Rick. I remember that. Props are art as well. Moan. Yeah. Known art by the masses. I know Mr. Number one Marvel fan is a prop collector. So that's why he wants to stick up for that, you know. Any Barry Manilow stuff? I know you love him. I know, but we don't have the original handwritten lyrics to Mandy for you, Carl. So, but believe me, they would sell for a lot of money. So, you know, yeah, absolutely. He's Barry Manilow is not some tiny no-name chump change kind of musician, right? So, stuff related to his, that would sell for good money too.
What is it? I think the American Pie handwritten lyrics went for like $1 million years ago.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, it was probably like 10 pages of lyrics, but.
Well, no, exactly. Imagine how long that had to be, right? Still, that's pretty awesome. Wow, that's so cool. Looking for the album cover to Whipped Cream by Herb Albert. Look at that. Very specific of you, Rich. Wow. Barry writes the songs. He certainly does. I still have the prints to my friend's local band shows. That's fun. Always fun to reminisce about. Oh, sure, for sure. And Mama, we're all crazy now. There, another Quiet Riot song. Okay, come on, everybody. I appreciate you all putting up with us talking about music for a little while. I know it extends the show a lot, but this is what this show is all about. It's the talking, and that's what I love about it. So, but those of you who only care about the art, we're getting back into the art now. Okay, so let us do that. And so so from the album art that we had here, we are now going to go to this next piece here.
Ooh.
Declan Shalvey. Yeah, I like his work, so I wanted to put a piece of his,
Yeah, I love Declan's work. Big Wolverine fan. I think we've already talked about that, but also love Miles Morales. This was an interesting series. This was, I think it was 5 issues. What If series. Each issue was what if Miles became a different character. So I think the first one was what if Miles became Captain America. What if Miles became Wolverine.
Oh.
What was the third?
Wow, they were really trying to push the Miles thing, I guess. Then.
Yeah. The third was Hulk, and then Thor, and then the 5th issue was all 4 of them together with the normal Miles Morales Spider-Man.
Okay.
I say it was an interesting series because issue 4 was not well received, the Thor issue, and got a lot of heat for some of the writing and some of the tropes that they used in the book.
Oh, interesting. Like, can you be specific at all, or?
Yeah, this whole series was interesting. It was a different writer and a different artist for each book, since they were somewhat standalone. But it's Miles Morales, so there's themes that cross over that allow them all to come together in the 5th issue. But basically, issue 3, the writer on the book had done some kind of hip hop related stuff. But the writer personally is not African American.
Okay.
And used some dialogue, like had Miles rapping. The setting that he was in of Asgard was Brooklyn. Had like shoes on power lines and different things. So it wasn't super well received.
Oh my God. Like, hold on, man. Like, let me come back to you. Shoes, where, you know, we've all seen them, if not in person, then on TV, whatever, on the line. That was inappropriate because the writer was a white guy?
So he's actually Mexican and Jewish.
Okay, so a Mexican Jew, so not even a white guy. He's a Mexican Jew, and because of that, it's not appropriate. Is that like
not that? I think it was a lot of lazy tropes.
Tropes, okay,
and just kind of lazy writing that I think a lot of people took offense to. Okay, and I think the fact that he wasn't a black guy writing it. Right. It was more offensive. Yeah.
Okay. But those tropes, are you saying that they were put in such a fashion that the writing referred to the tropes, or were they just in the background? You know, you would see the shoes on the wire, whatever. Like,
I think it was more like, and I didn't realize we were going to get into this tonight.
If you have reason to not want to talk about it, we don't have to. I'm not, man. We're good. We can skip.
No, it's. I will say there were things that I didn't take offense to, but I'm not a black person reading the book, and I think it was just things. If someone's like, "Hey, how would a black person talk?"
Right.
That was kind of how it was done. Versus, I imagine they got a Spanish writer in to kind of hit on the Spanish side of Miles.
Okay.
And I don't think he did that at all. And I think the artist was maybe an Italian artist. And so he's drawing New York and trying to draw black culture. And I don't think he was super in touch with that. So I think he was drawing of like, here's what I think this is from TV.
Okay. Well, without seeing it, then I can't give an opinion on it anyways, whatever, since I can't see it or read it, whatever, but it is what it is. I that's fine, whatever. I'm always a little weary because of how much cancel culture is pervasive, right, in our society these days. So if it's, hey, listen, and I'm the first guy to legitimately say, like, when I look at something and I'm like, oh God, like when I see things that are like blaxploitation and stuff like that, unless it's meant as satire, satire is fine, but if it wasn't, then I'm like, oh God, it's like, what are you doing? Whatever, so I'm sensitive to it too, but sometimes people are way too sensitive and it's like, come on, you just want to complain about something. So that's what I'm trying to ascertain, whether it's one of those overreactions or whether it was legit,
Well, and I don't think it was anything purposely offensive. I think it was just kind of lazy writing. I think they could have done a lot more, and I think because of that, it came off as offensive. Because you're drawing Asgard, and it's like, this is how Miles Asgard looks. So they could have done more.
Is it so? You're saying it was supposed to be the actual real Asgard?
Well, it was supposed to be the What If Miles version.
But it's What If, so it's open game, kind of, right? It's for the writer to sort of whatever he thinks his Asgard would have been or whatever. I get you. I get you. Okay. I'm gonna ask you about Steel.
But I will say what I was most bummed about is the series was pretty fun, and they had some amazing writers on this book. Several of them black writers that don't do a lot of comics. Some of them are like TV and film and like real book writing that did some really cool stuff in this series.
Okay.
So looking at the positives, and Cody Ziegler was one of the main writers, and I think kind of helped put some of the series, kind of tie the series together. And Cody has been doing a lot of Miles books. He's been doing the Spider-Punk books. He also does work with Futurama. He did some work on the She-Hulk show. So a lot of positives with the series too.
Which I enjoyed, by the way. I'm actually upset that they decided they were going to cancel.
What's going on there? I'm shocked. I thought that series was great as well.
Yeah, I thought it was so much fun, you know. And by the way, that's coming from me, who when I first saw the initial like clips of it or whatever, I was actually thinking, oh wow, this is going to be terrible, you know. And then I gave it a fair chance, and oh my god, I loved it. It was so much fun, you know. It was like I was looking forward to seeing another season, and oh well, you know, what are you gonna do? But Mr. Red Jack says, kind of like what I was asking, right? But is it wrong if the artist's interpretation, and I guess the writer, is it if it's their interpretation of what they see, kind of thing, right? So I'm out of curiosity, George, what side of the aisle did you yourself fall under? Did you also agree that it was kind of a little bit too whatever you want to call it?
I mean, I personally thought some of the rapping, they tried to have the initial monologue was like a rap. I thought was didn't work.
Right. Okay.
But some of the things like the sneakers on the wire, like that doesn't bother me. And, some of the other, I can't remember what all was mentioned. Bleeding Cool did an article about it if anyone wants to go read it. But
okay.
Something I was like, this could have been done better, but I didn't have the same reaction a lot of people had to it.
Okay. Fair enough, man. Thank you. I appreciate that. And of course, Tom has to shit on it. Yeah, I know it was expensive, and that's what they claimed was the reason. Yeah. But it wasn't horrible. You don't have to like it, but it was fun. Come on, whatever. Hey, what's up, Jason? What's up? Good to see you. Yeah, okay, all right. So,
I feel like we didn't talk about the Declan piece. I
want to get back to it. I want to get back to it because we kind of got caught up in the story, so I want to get back to it. Real quick, Miles is a street artist, right? I don't know. I've never read any Miles stuff. His Asgard might look like this. Everyone blew it out. Yeah, well, that's kind of the point I was trying to make. So that's why, okay. So let me get back to the image, and then you can talk more about that. Here we go.
And it's all based in New York. I feel like the graffiti is a huge part of New York culture historically.
Yeah, sure.
And so I was drawn to the pose. I thought the character design was fun, and just loved that Declan worked in, the shout outs to artists that had worked on Wolverine in the past.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really cool. Yeah. I see Len Wein, John Romita,
and we've got the Miles creators with Bendis and Sarah Pacelli as well.
Sarah Pacelli. Yeah, exactly. Who, remind me, who would Thomas be?
Assuming Roy Thomas, but I don't know.
Roy Thomas, maybe. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, very, very cool. That's lovely. Yeah, it's nice. Yeah. Very, very nice. Yeah, and a few of the our friends here in the chat were mentioning earlier when we first showed it that they dug the shout outs with the graffiti or whatever. Yeah. That's a cool thing, That's always fun. Oh my gosh, wow. What's up, Tony? Hey, evening, bro. Lovely to see you. Thanks for dropping in. And Wolverine doesn't wear Air Jordans. Oh, he could if he wanted to. Wolverine wears Wolverine work boots? I don't know. Does that mean Wolverine is a fan of the Michigan Wolverines? Like me? I don't know.
Nice.
Okay. So, everyone, let us move on to the next piece. And another artist who I love, and who some of you may remember, I've mentioned many times when we talk about realism in comics and why I like guys like Butch Geis, Mike Perkins, Michael Lark, who we saw earlier, and I always end up mentioning this guy in the same sentence as well. And so let's take a look.
Yes, I knew it was going to be Sean Phillips.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
This was another one early on when I got back into comics. I think probably because of the Brubaker's work on that Daredevil run that we were talking about earlier. Yeah. I picked up this one. Brubaker was writing this. This was I want to say a 6-issue arc that they did.
Yeah, six or eight. One of those two. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But this was a page from the first issue. I think I got this from Splash Page. Mark Hay over at Splash Page, I think, was selling these.
Yeah, I would imagine he's repping him. So,
and just, I mean, this page, I think there was a couple in the first issue where we got to see the character in costume, really kind of figuring out, you know, his abilities and kind of who he was as this Incognito character. I just thought this page was awesome, and it ended up being used for this second print cover for issue 1.
Right. Yeah. Very cool. See, this is what I meant earlier when you asked me with the Lark page if I had the pencils. Normally, this is what I would do because
nice.
I wanted to show 3 different pieces, right? I wanted to do the published cover on this with the one, you know, to show that he had, you know, they used the one single panel art for a cover. But of course, on a slide, they don't look good when you want to put 3 different pieces, because there's not quite enough room. So I always have to do it on 2 slides, and that's what I would have done for the Lark piece. But like I said, I screwed it up, and then I forgot to go back. Whatever. Anyways.
No worries.
Yeah, but no, yeah, I love Lark. I love Phillips. They have a similar approaches to art, especially in particular with the way they handle their shadow and light. And that's what I really love about it. That's what I mean by the realism when I say realism, because, you know, people might wonder, well, you know, you look at his figures that they don't, you know, they look kind of cartoony, like comic booky. It's not super realism, but no, I'm referring to the light sources and how they do shadow and light. That gives an air of believability to it. And, you know, that's what I refer to when I talk about guys like Lark and Sean Phillips, you know? So yeah, so to me, this was, it's just a beautiful, beautiful page. So I felt like, okay, it doesn't, this kind of stuff doesn't get that much. It's not mainstream. It's, you know, so I wanted to give it a little bit more attention, if you will.
Yeah, no, appreciate the comments as well in the chat.
Yeah,
I think this series was beautiful. And I love the color work. You know, I think there's some details you lose, but I thought the colors in the series were great as well.
Yeah, I think it worked very well as well. Again, like I always say, I still prefer it in black and white.
Sure.
But you know, yeah, all things considered, given how much I usually hate colored comics, I do give props to this. I thought it was very well done. It helped with, you know, in other words, oftentimes I find that with artists like Sean Phillips, who are great at using shadow and light with ink, I find colorists just kind of ruin the lighting effects. But here, although I don't think it betters the lighting effects, I do feel like it still complements it. So like when I look at that second panel, I love it, you know, even in color, you know. Yeah, I like the color palette as well. So and yes, Marcus, it is a cover now. That is a lovely page indeed. Sean Phillips, so underrated, just a great piece. Absolutely, I agree. Great spatial feel. Thank you, CJ, for letting us know. And yeah, it's fantastic. The color palette is so minimal and muted in most things they do. Yeah,
good call, Ed.
Well said, Ed. Yeah, fantastic. Okay, so excellent. From there, everybody, we're going to go to an artist that we mentioned earlier, and well, that George mentioned, and I said we would have to see later. And so let us take a look at that. Why don't we?
Yeah, there it is.
There it is. Yeah. So yeah, tell us a little bit about this.
Yeah, Rob is an artist I've been following for a long time, and I feel like he took a break from comics for several years, but
it sure seemed like it. It sure seemed like it. Like I don't know if he actually did or if it's just because I don't pay close enough attention, but I remember thinking I saw his name one day on a credit online, and I was like, oh shit. I forgot all about De La Torre. Where's he been? You know?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had picked up some pages from him early when I started collecting. I want to say 2009. He did some Thunderbolts pages that I from a story that I really loved. And then I think from there he did some work on Captain America and into that Daredevil run, following Lark's run. he did a few issues, and spoiler, but it was 2010 when these books came out, when Daredevil becomes the head of the Hand. He did I think 3 or 4 issues from that book. There's some great pieces on CAF as well from that run.
Okay.
And then after that, I feel like I didn't see any work from him. It's possible he was doing some comics and I just missed them, but he's a guy that I connected with on Facebook early on and stayed in touch over the years, and just love his art, and sweet guy. He's also a musician. He also does some work in film, short film.
Oh, cool. So that's
skateboards. He's like, I think he did some pro. He's in Spain. I feel like he did some like, maybe not pro, but like competition skating in Spain.
Oh, wow.
Just a crazy talented guy.
Yeah.
And, we'll call it a hiatus from comics. I feel like he transformed his style into this look where he's almost channeling John Buscema a little bit.
Yes, very much so. You can tell, absolutely, that's what he was going for. Absolutely. Yeah.
And it's
beautiful,
gorgeous. He did, I think this was like a 6-page story he did in Conan 300. I think he did a couple covers that are on CAF that are gorgeous. And then I guess Titan took over the property. So he's doing some stuff with Jim Zub over there.
Wow. It's so weird to think Conan is at a British publisher now.
Yeah.
It's so weird to me. Wow.
Yep.
That's wild.
But I had reached out about some pages from the 6-page story, and he had sold some of them, but this one he had, and I was thrilled to pick it up. I'm not the hugest Conan fan. I'm more a Rob De La Torre fan.
Yeah.
And the style resembling Buscema, obviously a big fan as well.
Yeah.
But was thrilled to get this. He does, it's like I think he generally does his pencils digitally, and then some kind of tightening up on the board. But his real magic is in his ink work.
Okay. Wow.
And just
good night, Carl.
Yeah, night, Carl.
Thank you for hanging out again. Interesting. So then does he print out his work on, so he's going to ink his own work, so he just prints out blue lines of his digital pencils. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, that's it's really, really cool. And so are you saying that this particular issue is already from Titan?
No, this was with Marvel. I think he did a couple covers for Marvel. And then this was like issue 300, Legacy 300, that was made up of a bunch of different short stories. So he did like a 6-page story in this book. But I want to say after this book, Titan, I think Marvel lost the property. Somebody in the chat might know better than I do.
Okay.
Like the rights ran up or lapsed. I don't know.
Yeah, I wonder if they, you can't imagine that they would forget something like that. So I have to imagine. I always wonder, did you just not, was it not paying off for you and you decided to let it go? Or was it, like, you tried, it was time to renegotiate and re-up the contract and they wanted way more money and you thought it wasn't worth it at that price,
Yeah.
I'm always curious, but I didn't hear anything about it. I just heard, I was reading something online. And by the way, I just found out very recently, and I was reading and I was like, oh yeah, so Conan's at Titans. And I'm like, Conan's at Titan? What? It's so weird,
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, that's just, it's I don't know, man. Listen, I always thought it was weird when Dark Horse got it.
Oh, yeah.
Just because it wasn't Marvel, right? I was just like,
Yeah.
It's so weird to see it not at Marvel. And then even weirder when Nikki B at Dynamite got Red Sonja. And so now we have this classic character from that universe, but they can't be together because they're owned by different licensees. It's so like, so crazy, man. So, but yeah, that's a beautiful piece. I really, really love that. Excellent. Yeah. So from there, everyone, we're going to go to a very rare tonight, anyways, rare. I didn't pick out many of these. I think it might've been the only one. A commission piece, very sexy. And I thought
Well, I definitely know because there's only one.
Is it really? Okay. All right, everyone. Let's take a look.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. I loved it. So be our guest and tell us whatever you want to tell us about this. I think it's awesome.
Yeah. I generally don't go after the more cheesecake leaning art.
Yeah.
But you know, huge Jim Chung fan, and this piece is just gorgeous.
Yeah.
This was actually commissioned by another collector. I can't remember off the top of my head who I bought it from, but I bought this several years ago from another collector. Yeah, I don't know what else I can say. It's Jim does a great black cat. I love the atmosphere with the backgrounds.
Yeah,
and the great late Justin Ponzer did the colors on it. And Jim had this. I can't remember if I got the print before I got the original, but Jim had oversized prints of these that he would sell at shows, and just thought that the combination of the piece with the color piece was too good to pass up.
Oh, it's fantastic. I'm assuming those are Copic markers that he used. Do you know?
They are, yeah. He was doing Copics. I feel like maybe 2008, 2009, 2010.
Okay.
And I don't know that. I think he's done a few like head sketches or things like that, but he mostly does pencil and ink stuff these days.
Okay. You mean like when he does commissions?
When he does commissions, yeah.
Oh no, yeah, I would think so, because one of the things that surprised me when I saw this piece in your gallery was like, I saw the face, I immediately recognized it was Jim, and I was like, whoa, I don't remember seeing Copic type work from Jim, you know? And then that's when I noticed the date, and I was like, oh wow, okay, so he must have been sort of experimenting, playing around with it for a while back in the day, you know?
Yep.
Yeah. So very, very cool. Colors are stellar. Yeah, I gotta say, credit where it's due. It's another one that I also really, really like. I Justin Ponsor, who, by the way, not only do I want to credit him for a nice job with the colors, but I used to love Justin's work. I was a big fan of cross-gen comics in the early 2000s, and Justin was my favorite colorist. I always admired how much better the cross-gen comics coloring was than Marvel and DC back then. I thought they were way ahead, and Justin's colors were fantastic.
Oh yeah. I always love when he colors Jim's work, and they did a lot together.
Have they done a lot together? I didn't know that.
Yeah, he did. Man, I'm trying. Now I got to look back, but I know he's done a lot of stuff since the cross-gen days.
Yeah,
with Jim.
Okay, very, very cool. Apparently, Conan is owned by Funcom, a Norwegian video game company that is a subsidiary of Tencent. Really? Okay, I don't know nothing about that. That's weird. I thought the Robert E. Howard estate owns it. How is that possible? That's so weird. Okay. Conan rights are very confusing in public domain. They're in public domain in the UK? So Titan doesn't even have to pay to do Conan comics? Okay, but not in the USA till so even in 2028, so just a few years from now, anybody like George and I can like band together and create Conan comics if we want to. Is that how that works when it's public domain? Wow. Okay, wow. I mean, Conan. Oh yeah, it's true, because Conan, they started off in the pulp, so that is old, and I believe that the laws about that are for like after 100 years or something, and then it's public domain or something like that.
Yeah, that's what I thought. It lapsed. I guess it became public domain. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
And I just double checked. Justin did do colors on the Young Avengers series.
Oh, so he was the Young Avengers colorist. Interesting. Okay, good. Thank you, man.
I wanted to double check before I said it.
No. That's good. I appreciate it. We like factual information here. We appreciate the facts. So Conan and Steamboat Mickey crossover, anyone? Yeah, imagine. Listen, they've had Conan and Punisher, didn't they? And back in the 90s, or Conan and Archie or whatever. Punisher and Archie or something. Yeah.
Yeah, they had him on the Savage Avengers team with like.
Oh, right. Right. He's actually in the proper Marvel universe now, whatever, which is, I don't know. I'm not a fan of that. I don't like that. Whatever. If you enjoyed it, anybody, well, good, more power to you, but I'm not a fan of that. Yeah, thanks, Rick. Exactly. 1932 and Weird Tales. Yes. Yeah, so maybe it's like a 90-year thing and then it elapses or something, whatever. Yeah, I don't know. Whatever it is, but yeah, it's pretty cool. And Pooh, Winnie the Pooh, is that already public domain? And what about Mickey? I heard Mickey Mouse was supposed to be public domain soon or something like that. I heard it's going to be up soon. Oh, Jeff. So, okay. So in the US, it's 95-year clock. Interesting. Wow. So yeah. So Mickey probably is going to be up to be used by anybody who wants to do Mickey stuff. Wow. Okay. That's really interesting. We have too much time, Carl. Okay. All right, everybody. Thank you. So yeah, that was kind of fun to talk about. A really cool piece. Let us move on to another music-related piece, and I believe it's going to be the last music-related piece. And I saved the best for last.
All right.
Well, you'll know soon why I think that. And I hope that you, George, have a lot to say about this. Let's check this one out, everyone.
Oh, great pick. Yeah, I mean this one's near and dear to my heart. This was a music comic that I created based on a record that I put out.
Right.
And the art is by one of my favorite modern artists, Matthew Allison.
Yeah, he's great.
This was a piece I commissioned a while back, and originally had planned to do like a concert poster or something with, but then had this idea to do this anthology comic. The comic itself is a bunch of short stories based on songs from the record. And each short story is a different artist that I got to work with, and just love this art. Matt colored it. It's a little different than I think maybe his approach on some of the Kankor comics, but absolutely love the color treatment that he gave it. And then he was kind enough to trust me to add, all the logos and lettering and stuff. But yeah, this one's near and dear to my heart. Yeah. Thanks, Jeff.
And the great comic too.
And yeah, I'm still baffled with some of the artists and people that I got to work with. And
I mean, you got a lot in this one.
Yeah.
Creators, right?
Yeah, it was 30. By the end of it, it's I want to say it's a 58-page anthology. It was 30 different artists and illustrators from like 8 different countries that I worked with. A lot of it done during the beginning of COVID. So it was a very cathartic process because we weren't able to actually go out and see people, but I was able to kind of connect and talk with people and do the online video and stuff. So this holds a very special place with me.
Well, I can imagine. Well, obviously I can imagine because that's why I picked it. Yeah, I wanted one of the music. That was the one thing in my mind. I was like, okay, George is going to be on with me. I want one of the music pieces to be like something that's going to be meaningful to him for sure. And that's the last music piece I'll show. And yeah, so I'm glad I picked the right one, let's put it that way. So.
And Matt plays guitar as well. That was another cool connection.
Yeah.
How
cool is that?
If you ever see him in any of his online videos, there's usually a guitar neck or a guitar in the background.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's really neat. Jeff says he was so excited to finally see you and the band perform during Heroes last year.
Thanks, Jeff.
Yeah, man. Love Matt Allison. Just met and picked up a piece from it at OAX. I'll have to track down a copy of the comic. You can, if you go into the description below this video right now, in fact, Jewish Dragons, there is a link under George's name where you see you can buy all a lot of great merch that he has, not just this comic, but his music. And yeah, so all the relevant links are down there. So check out all that stuff, man.
And Ruben, if I can give an exclusive first mention. So I put this out in 2020, and I've been trying to put out music comics annually. So usually in time for Heroes Con in June. I'm working on the next issue right now, and I'll share. There's going to be a cover from Kevin Catalan, who's been doing some really cool commissions. Interview with Trad Moore, an interview with Esoteric from Czarface, a short comic from Greg and Fake, who do the Santos Sisters, if anyone's checked out that book.
I've seen that.
And some cool illustration work and stuff.
I've seen. I haven't read that, but our friend Mark Vega posted original art from that.
Mark has some awesome art from that book.
Yeah. So there's a shout out to you, Mark. If you're ever watching, haven't seen you in a while, but there you go. I remember, and that way, Mark, I pay close attention to your gallery. There you go.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool. So there you go. Dan's asking, did George ever think of making a music video of his art collection? But Dan, can you clarify though? Because I'm wondering if what you really mean is a music video for one of his songs, but that incorporates his artwork into the background and stuff or whatever. I think that's what you're asking, but I don't know. Clarify for us. But,
and we did actually, for that anthology comic, we did make an animated music video using panels from the comic for one of the songs that we actually, the director that I worked with to put that together, did kind of a film fest tour. So we actually had it airing and screening all over the country, which was pretty cool.
Oh, that's very, very cool. Cool. Okay. Okay. One more comment. Yes. Yes. One of his songs and artwork in the background. That's what he was referring to. Yeah. So there you go. Okay. Very nice. All right. Let us move on to the next piece, everyone. And this one I thought was really, really cool because I love the prop, I guess you call it, in it. And I love the character as well.
Right.
And
what's it going to be?
I've got 2 slides to show you, everyone. Check this out.
Oh, yes.
By prop, of course, I meant the motorcycle. I didn't want to give it away. I didn't know how else to to refer to the motorcycle. So and here, everyone. So you see, as you can see, it's NYCC booth promo art for Olivier Coipel. And this is, so as you can see it right behind him, it's those standees that a lot of the artists have, but also this, which I thought really looks really, really, really cool. So I love that as well,
This was a big purchase in 2012 for me, picked up from Quan and Olivier, New York Comic-Con. This was also my first time going to New York Comic-Con.
Oh, cool.
I think I pretty much, and still for the most part, only go to 1 or 2 shows a year. And they're usually in the North Carolina or vicinity of North Carolina.
Right.
Which, by the way, very sad to have missed OAX. And seeing the names in the chat, I'm like, oh, it would have been great to meet you in person. And hope to rectify that next year. But
Hyderabad is not too shabby, George.
But yeah, this was, I mean, we've already established love Wolverine, equally love Wolverine on a motorcycle, and also love Olivier's artwork, and just thought this was a killer piece, and was excited to see it used to promo his appearance at New York Comic-Con and for the banner that he had set up at the convention.
Okay. Rick wants to know, did you get the banner too?
I actually asked. I don't know where it is. I don't know if Olivier still has it, or if it got left behind. But I would love to have, honestly, just a print would be awesome. I don't know that he's ever used this image for anything else. But yeah, luckily I was able to find these images online.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So you still had to hunt them down rather than Quan having it and just handing it over to you, kind of thing.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, that's tough sometimes, man. Because I'm like you, I like to have the reference, right? And I will hunt it down. I'll hunt as much as I have to just to find something, especially on this type of stuff, right? These specialty type pieces.
Yep.
Oh, my wife's going to bed. Good night, Vivian.
Good night.
I don't know if you heard that. George wishes you a good night. Okay. She screams, yes. Good night. Have someone make a banner. Well, I don't know. Does he need to have a full-fledged banner just because he owns the art, though? I mean, if it's given to you free, it's one thing, but those banners can't be cheap to make, you know? Yeah.
Yeah. And I honestly, I don't have anywhere to put it. So a print would suffice.
Yeah.
But I don't have a high enough res image to make a print or anything. But
yeah. That's I don't think you need.
I'll enjoy these images. It's good.
There we go. And okay, Mr. Red Jack saying good night to you as well. Use it for a tablecloth to get some use out of it, right? That's so funny. Okay, excellent. So yeah, love that piece. Glad I could show that to you all. Let us come back. And from there, we go, coincidentally enough, the placing was not done on purpose. It's just coincidence. We go to another piece that does have Wolvie on it. And also a recent acquisition. So now I just gave it away to you, George. Let's check this one out. But a lot of people love this. Everybody remembers these issues.
Okay,
So,
I think I know what it's going to be now.
Let's check it out.
I'm excited. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, this was a bucket list piece that I just kind of accepted I would never get a page from this series. But luckily, my buddy Rob, Wolvie fan, is a dream maker.
There we go.
And was kind enough to work out a trade with me for this page.
Cool.
Somehow he still had this after OAX. I know when I talked to him, he had several people that were interested in it, but was very excited that he still had this available. And luckily, he's also a Wolverine fan, so I had some Wolverine art that he was interested in. Hurt a little bit to let go of, but
oh yeah. Are you willing to reveal what that Wolverine piece was?
It was some old man Logan art.
Oh, okay.
So, I mentioned earlier that was the story that really got me back into comics as an adult. But luckily, I bought a lot of art from that series, so I still have some art to hold me over. So I had no Art Adams. I had no New Fantastic Four from the original story arc. And I thought this page had a lot to offer. It's mostly, I mentioned this in my write-up on CAF. It's mostly headshots. Yeah. But it's like everything you'd want in a page with, we got Reed and the Imposter Scroll Sue up there. We've got the Fantastic Car with the team in it. We got Wolverine with the cigar. We got the Mole Man monsters. Yeah. And then we got the rest of the team in the bottom. And I love the panel breaks with Ghost Rider and Spider-Man there. Was thrilled to pick this one up.
And what is Marcus talking about? That he would have taken Nina photos in trade.
He mentioned something in another interview about Nina photos that Rob picked up. I don't know.
Nina who?
I can't remember.
Nina Hartley, because he's done. Yes. Yeah, he's put Nina Hartley in my chats a few times as well. So okay, I guess I just never got the background joke on that or whatever. But okay, excellent. Karen says, yeah, very cool page, tons of characters. Yeah, exactly. And I like you mentioned it as well, George. I like the fact that I think it's kind of key that yes, it's more of a headshot page, but it's cool that you didn't just get Reed and Sue and then Wolvie, but you still got the last three characters included in one font at the last panel. I think that tops it off in that last panel, because ultimately that's the team,
And I've always loved Art Adams monsters, so to get these monsters in here too is pretty stinking cool.
Yeah, very, very cool. So Carl says the trade made collection better, especially if you still have Old Man Logan art.
Yeah,
which you do.
Yeah, I'm very happy. Again, it was hard to let go of anything, and I haven't done a ton of trades. I think this was my third trade in 15 years of collecting.
Oh, wow.
And they all happened in the past year and a half.
Oh, wow. Cool.
Which is crazy. I don't know if I'm get more comfortable with letting things go, or I just found the right people and the right pieces.
Trading is not usually very easy. So it's, you know, it's tough. So it's cool. It's cool if as long as they work out for you and you're happy with it, you know. And by the way, as far as the whole, you know, oh, I had to let that go, it hurt. I get it. And what I've always preached here on this channel is like, and actually to all my friends and even newbie collectors that have asked me for advice or whatever, you know, I've always said, like, oftentimes when you are talking about trading, you have to be prepared to give up something good to get something good.
Absolutely.
Right. So you got to be prepared for some pain. Like, it's not always going to be to your benefit. We're like, oh yeah, I'd like to get that awesome piece from that person, but I'll only give up this crap I don't want anymore. And it means nothing to me. You know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
And believe me, a lot of people think that way. But if you really want the good stuff, you got to give up something that's going to hurt you to some degree, you know? So,
and I will say I like it better than just selling the piece, because at least you have something to look at after and hold after.
Yes.
That's been very enjoyable.
Yes, exactly. Absolutely. Excellent. Everybody, just a quick update so you all know that we got a handful of pieces to go, and that'll be it. So we're basically making our usual 3-hour time frame, basically. So yeah, there you go, everyone. So okay, from there we're gonna go into another piece that I really love. And again, coincidental, but it is Wolverine related again, 3 times in a row. But I really loved it, and I know that you love it. So let us check it out, everyone. And this is another one where I can't believe what's happening. I don't know what's happening today, but today, all the color scans, I actually like the colors.
Oh, wow.
So I even enjoy the color version as well. So yeah, let's take a look at what that is, everyone. The Return of Wolverine by Steve McNiven and Jay Leaston, 2018.
Yeah, this one, this was a pretty recent pickup, actually. Picked up at auction. Was thrilled to pick this up. I'm a huge Steve McNiven fan. You know, we've mentioned Old Man Logan a couple times.
Yeah.
McNiven did the original Old Man Logan series, and since has done Death of Wolverine and this Return of Wolverine. And there's probably other stories that I'm missing that he's worked on, but this series was really cool. But I had a hard time finding a page because Steve didn't pencil all of the issues. Same thing on Death of Wolverine. McNiven did a lot of pencil work digitally. So most of the art was basically Jay's ink work.
Oh.
But on this series, he did some of it was pencil and ink on the same board. And the tell generally was if the title was printed at the top and if Steve signed the page,
right,
that he actually touched it and drew on it. So was excited to find this one. Not that I'm opposed to inks only. I own some of the pages from the Death of Wolverine that are only inks.
Right.
But what was extra excited, one, because it's Wolverine on a motorcycle again.
Yeah.
You got that crazy badass panel in the middle there with the giant gun on the motorcycle, and then you got the crazy cool detail berserker Wolverine coming at you in that bottom panel.
Yeah.
And I've seen others mention this, and you know, I feel like on this series, McNiven really channeled Barry Windsor Smith, some of that Weapon X style. You know, from the Marvel Comics Presents issues, and you really get that in that last panel with the hair and the face. I feel like he's really channeling some of Barry Windsor Smith there.
Yep, I agree. I was waiting to see if you would mention that, actually. Yeah, because I was going to say, because if he does, I was like, if he doesn't say anything, I'm going to bring it up. You know. Yeah. So yeah, it's great. I love it. I love everything about it. Especially the movement in the first panel, the movement of the motorcycle, like that. Yeah. I mean, like you said, the machine gun, yeah, all the line art, all of it, the rendering. It's just beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. And can I just ask you, what did you think of the story?
I'm trying to remember. This was another like 4-issue arc. I'm trying to remember. I wasn't huge on it. Okay. Like it was fine.
Okay.
But I'm also an easy mark. Like, I'll see any Marvel show that comes out, good or bad. I'll see any Marvel movie, good or bad. Okay. If it's McNiven Wolverine, I'm gonna buy it.
Yeah, sure.
And I'm gonna enjoy it. The story was fine from what I remember.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, no, you're like me. Like I used to be when I was a regular weekly comic book buyer back in the day, where it's like I'm into the art so much that like even though I know that this book, the reading is not that great, but I like the art on it, so I just kept collecting that title, whatever. Like it's like that's fine.
And part of it was predisposed when I finished the Death of Wolverine. I was like, they're just gonna bring him back, in a few months, and I think I kind of had a rain cloud over it going into it, so to speak. But
yeah, I got you for sure. Excellent. No, beautiful page.
Thanks, man.
All right. So the next piece we're going to show everybody is on. It's a wide piece. So I've got it on 2 slides, and it's an artist we've seen earlier tonight. But I decided I purposely wanted to go backwards and go even with a piece that was from even earlier than the one we showed earlier. They're both female centric. Have you figured out the artist I'm talking about, George? Or not yet?
I don't know if I let's see.
Okay, let's take a look, everyone. Here.
Yes.
And the color version for everybody who wants to see what it looked like this. Yeah. And this is early-ish Jim Chung and John Dell art, 2003, from the CrossGen days.
Yeah, and actually, this is my other very, very sexy lady piece.
Yes.
I had forgotten about this one.
Well, okay, because it's been so long since you probably looked at it. That's why you forgot. So even though I gave you the hint that it's another sort of female centric, Man,
and I loved the science stuff as well. It was my introduction to Jim Chung. Actually, a lot. McNiven did some stuff there. Epting did stuff there.
Oh yeah, they launched a ton of great artists that once they closed down, just went off and spread around Marvel and DC.
Yeah. Luke Ross was another one that I know did some great Cap stuff. But yeah, this was Jim did, I think, 5 of these, and if I remember correctly, CrossGen basically commissioned him to create 5 different like movie style posters for the Scion series that they could use as kind of like advertisements, promotional things, and I don't know that they all got published, or at least they if they were published, like this one was published as like a small image in one of the like CrossGen Illustrated or one of the like random collected books. It wasn't actually used as like a promotional, and maybe it was online at the time and I missed it, but it wasn't actually used for like a poster that I know of.
Okay. I don't think so either.
Yeah, I picked up, I think one. I only have 4 of the 5. I picked up one from a fellow CAFer, and I think I picked up the other 3 from Jim. No, maybe I picked up 2 from CAF members and 2 from Jim. But Jim had these. He had still kept a couple of them at the time, and I can't remember exactly when I added these. It might have been like 2011, 2012. But these are huge, man. They're all like 17 by 22 inch.
Oh, right, because they were done on those old school CrossGen boards, right?
And there's no fold in the middle. It's one giant board.
Yeah. No, exactly. Yeah. Those were very memorable to me because I was buying Mike Perkins art when he was at CrossGen.
Wow.
Yeah.
Too. Yeah. Another.
Yeah. He started off like. He was like inking George Perez, inking Butch Guice, and then he started penciling stuff, So like a lot of well-known names now were back at CrossGen, and they were so good back then already. That's why I loved CrossGen. Plus, it was cool because they offered everything but superheroes.
Yeah.
You know, which is basically the opposite of Marvel and DC, what they do. You know.
Yeah, and so that Ethan head on the right is like almost a life-size head, which is pretty cool to think about.
Yeah.
But I was super curious when Marvel Disney got the rights to all the cross-gen books a few years back, if they were going to do anything. And I think they did like one cross-gen book that I've seen since then, but very curious if we're going to see any more, maybe even reprints of some of these books. I don't know what the demand is these days, but
yeah, I can be the bearer of some good news and let you know that they just announced, I don't know, last couple of weeks maybe. Yeah, they're coming out with omnibus versions of at least, I want to say 2 titles so far to start. Trying to think of what titles they were, but I remember one of them was, it had gone 47 issues, and I think is it 47 or 37? But I think it's like compiling everything into one giant book.
Wow.
But yeah, I think they're starting off with a couple of titles
Cool.
omnibus. So yeah, it's about time. I mean, they've had the license since basically they bought them out like in 2005 or not long after they went bankrupt. So they didn't do much with it. So yeah, it'd be exciting to see them try to do something with it again. But make a real effort.
Yeah.
Because a few years after, like in 2000, I think 8 or 9 or something like that, they did decide to do they did a Ruse 4-issue miniseries.
Oh wow!
But it was like, okay, they got Butch Geist and Mike Perkins on the covers.
Oh wow!
But just to sort of get the flavor of the original team back. But the interiors weren't by them, so people whatever, like it's not the same. Yeah, so it'd be cool if they could get some of those things revived, those projects revived. I don't know, man. I think it has a lot of untapped potential there. I think that company had a ton of potential that would have been realized had it not been for the bleeding money, too much bleeding money, and whatever. Because Mark Alessi, who owned the place, he had a lot of great ideas, but he was way too early on a lot of them. I mean, he was the first guy with like, oh yeah, digital comics. He put all their product up online. Joined for like, I think it was $10 a month or $100 one-time payment for life kind of thing, and you read all their comics. So nice ideas, but he started like with the movies, movie projects, and that's what these pieces you have are all about. That's what they're called, movie posters. I have some Mike Perkins Ruse related designs, character designs that he did.
Oh man,
a potential Ruse piece or whatever, some voodoo looking dude or whatever. It was like, oh shit, that is so cool, but of course all that shit costs money, whatever, and then just more money, and then ultimately, his vision was way bigger than even his bank account, and that's why it went south eventually, unfortunately. So yeah, it's a shame, but Marcus, it was a ruse to not have the interiors by Geist, exactly. Unless he was buying up comic. Oh, that's true. Yeah, comic art. Yeah. Oh well. But anyways, okay, everyone, let's continue with the show and tell. Only a few pieces left. And with that, just FYI to all of you, 3 pieces left, everybody. We got some cool banger pieces to finish out the show. And so this third to last one is...
Ooh, yes.
Look at the power you feel. That's the sheer size of the Red Hulk there is awesome.
Yeah, this is probably my most asked about piece.
Oh, really?
Yeah, if I'm selling at least once or twice a year.
Wow.
And I'm very glad.
Not surprising, yeah.
Yeah, I'm very glad I haven't sold it, because it's getting harder and harder to get McGinnis Hulk art, let alone McGinnis Red Hulk art. But yeah, bought this right after the issue came out. I think Mitch over at Graphic Collectibles was repping it at the time. There were 2 splash pages I remember that I was looking at from the issue, because this was an oversized issue. It was Hulk Legacy 600, big event book. I want to say it was like double size, maybe even bigger than that.
Okay.
But there was two splash pages I remember looking at. One had Red Hulk, Green Hulk, and Spidey on it.
Right.
And but the poses weren't quite as cool as this one. And then I had this one with Spidey and the Red Hulk, and I just love the Spidey. I love the kick in the face. I thought, the Red Hulk's anatomy was like everything over the top about Ed that I love. And I went for this, and I was glad I did, because a week later it was used as the second print cover for Hulk 600.
Only a week after you got it?
Yeah, it was because I bought it. These are the days when you didn't have to buy the art within 60 seconds of seeing it on a website.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, I remember those days. Trust me. Yeah.
You had time to think about it, to shop a little bit. I think this might have been like a couple weeks after the issue came out. I can't remember how quickly they put the second print out, but I had time to actually like ask Mitch about the pages and look at multiple pages and make a decision. But thrilled to have this. I mean, I feel like Ed does an amazing Hulk. I think he also does an amazing Spider-Man. And to have the two on the same page, I think this was used for like a trading card as well.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. One of my favorite pieces, and a huge McGinnis fan.
Oh, awesome.
And I went to New York Comic Con 2 years ago, and Jeff Loeb was there, so got Loeb to sign it as the writer of the series.
Right on. Yeah. That's really great. Yeah, I mean, 2009. Yeah, when I think about it now, I was like, I remember when you mentioned it. I was like, I remember those days where McGinnis was Mitch's artist. It's like, oh my god, it feels like so forever ago that Mitch was still representing artists, because it's been a while now since so wow, man. Yeah, the good old days. And don't forget, I mean, art was always kind of expensive, I always say, but certainly compared to now, much more affordable than McGinnis stuff back in those days. I always felt it was actually kind of cheap for the quality you were getting with him,
And that one, I will say, was on the expensive side for the time, because it was a splash. But
because of what it is
these days,
for sure. I mean, it's all relative, obviously, right? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, great acquisition, Dan, for sure, man. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, one of your favorites as well. So it's great that I saved it for near the last.
Yeah, I love that. Great pick.
So that's cool. Not sure. Once again, Marcus, 200 points in an all-star game. You know what he's talking about?
I'm going to say that's like he's saying it's a grand slam. It's a home run. I don't know. I'm not good with sports metaphors, by the way.
Okay. Okay, he'll let us know. Okay. NBA. Okay, I don't know, but wait a second.
They're up to 200 points.
Wait a second. Are you saying that tonight is the night that they're playing the NBA All-Star game? Oh, no. I'm just saying it's a grand slam.
Got it.
There you go. Okay. You were right. Yeah. All right. Awesome. Excellent. Okay. So, everyone, a couple of pieces left. Karen, that's out for you. I know you're typically gone about 15 minutes ago. So, if you can hang on. If you can't, I get it. But 2 more to go, everyone. Let us look at this. And again, it's Wolverine night here with George, everyone. Didn't do it on purpose, but like I say, I still love Wolverine. So what the hell? Why not? Let's check this one out. Yeah, I really like this one.
Oh, man.
And I love Cassara's art too. So that's why I also wanted to have a Cassara example,
Yeah. Because I want to say Jason D'Ambrosio tipped me off to Josh's art a while back, and been following him on Twitter and Instagram and seeing his posts. He's very generous with his posts. He'll post process stuff. He'll post videos of him drawing. He's really good about sharing art online. And I think, at least the last time I checked, he sells a lot of his art himself. If anyone is interested in his art, but I feel like he is doing some really cool stuff. This X-Force run was a lot of fun. He's doing a lot of X-related books and a lot of variant covers and things like that. Yeah, being a Wolvie fan, this one really popped out at me. Going berserker, diving into an active volcano, I believe, with the rest of the X-Force team in the background. Just thought it was cool, man.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. Carl's saying that he's a super nice guy too when he chatted with him at OAX.
Oh, awesome. I've never met him in person. He seems like a super cool guy.
Yeah. No, so that's really neat. So yeah, excellent. Very, very cool. By the way, George, did you read this issue?
Yes, I read, I think I haven't read all of the X-Force stuff. I read this issue, but I cannot remember what happened in this book.
Oh, okay. No, I'm only asking because I was curious if you happen to know, just for my curiosity, whose hand is coming out of the volcano.
Oh man, I cannot remember off the top of my head.
Okay, no worries. I just
it's been a minute since I read these, but there was some really cool like redesigns and stuff they did. The Hellfire Gala was part of this run.
Okay.
I don't know. There was some cool stuff happening. I cannot remember off the top of my head though.
Yeah, no worries, man.
There's hand. Thanks, Marcus.
I was just curious, but because I'm thinking, wow, you got to be pretty tough to be able to withstand that kind of pain. You know, the pain of lava engulfing you and still being alive. Like, who in the Marvel universe can really kind of withstand something like that? Hulk, Thor, maybe. You know, can Iron Man's armor withstand that? Well, who knows? Probably even if he couldn't at one point, he probably could now. He always try to overpower everybody, you know. But yeah, no, beautiful piece. I really love that. All right, everybody. We're down to our last piece of the evening.
Drum roll.
And I picked this because I feel George is going to, I don't know, I think he's going to appreciate that this was the last piece of the evening. Some of you older people like my age group will probably hate this. And a lot of you will love it. But I know George loved it, and that's all that mattered to me. That's what was important.
Perfect.
So yeah, so that's why I wanted to show it. So you ready, George?
Let's divide the crowd on this last piece. Let's go for it.
All right, let's take a look.
Yeah, what's not to love about this? Everyone loves this, right?
Well, because of the early 90s Image era divided a lot of us, whatever. Yeah.
No, I'm kidding. Yeah. This was a huge nostalgic piece. Again, growing up in the 90s, starting to read comics in the 90s, like Image was a big part of my childhood. Love it or hate it. Liefeld was a big part of my childhood. So this piece, when I had the opportunity to get it, had to sell a lot of things to buy this piece, but was very excited to find it. It's got Liefeld pouches. It's got Liefeld feet. Yeah. It's got big guns. It's got skulls. It's got big skulls, and it's got Spawn. I mean, how cool is that?
Yeah, that's a pretty great bonus. Unless you were somebody who was buying it for Spawn,
that's true.
Right? But if you weren't buying it for Spawn, if your interest is Youngblood and this, and Chapel, let's say, then yeah, having Spawn is like a massive bonus, right?
Yeah, and there was a crossover, if I'm remembering correctly, in this issue, and I think there was a tie-in in one of the issues of Spawn as well, where Chapel appeared. So there was actually a crossover between the books. It wasn't like he just appeared on the cover and wasn't in the book at all.
Okay.
But I mean, to me, this is like peak Liefeld era, coming off of New Mutants, coming onto the Youngbloods book. My understanding, I didn't understand this as a kid, obviously, but, hearing stories back that there were all kinds of scheduled delays getting these books out.
Yes, I remember that.
So I'm sure there's a lot of I guess, negative background on these books as well. But as a kid, I didn't know about any of that stuff.
Well, sure.
So I remember this art pretty fondly. So was very excited to find this one.
No, that's awesome. How strongly would you say that the nostalgia is for you on this particular piece in terms of everything else nostalgic you have in your collection?
Yeah, I mean, Chapel and Youngblood, like the earlier issues of Youngblood, I think were probably higher nostalgia factor. But I mean, when you add in Spawn, it's up there for me. And I think as far as pieces that I'm going to be able to get in my lifetime, this is high on that list, because I think those earlier Youngblood covers, I don't know that I've seen any of them on CAF. I don't know where they are. And I imagine if they go to auction or if they ever come to the market, they're going to be out of my range.
Yeah. Out of curiosity, the source for this piece, was it a collector or an auction or a dealer? Or?
I feel very fortunate that it was a collector on CAF that
cool.
Bought it directly from Rob like 20 years ago.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And has a ton of Liefeld art that I think he bought from Rob directly years ago. Cool. So, for both of us, I think, this is one of the pieces I've spent the most money on.
Oh, really? Okay.
So it was a hard one for me to go for, but I think he also had some flexibility because, we don't know what it would sell for. Talking about comps, I think there's like one other Youngblood cover, and it was like Youngblood Strike File. It wasn't from the main series,
right?
That's been at auction. So yeah, was thrilled to not have to battle other collectors on auctions. I don't really love auctions. I hate having to be tied to my computer at a very specific time. That's usually either during the workday on some of these auctions or late at night on some of these auctions. So I was very appreciative to be able to buy it from another collector.
Yeah, I totally get that. I mean, I'm old school as well, so for me, it's always been, I'd rather just deal direct and, let's do a deal, you and me, whatever. And,
yeah.
I mean, I will admit that there's a certain fun factor to the excitement, not the waiting. I agree with you, George. Not the waiting around and being tied to the computer. I hate that. But when you are already at your lot, when your lot is up, there's that rush of excitement as to whether you're going to win it or not. And, there's a fun factor. But I still, having said that, if I had my druthers, I would, if I had to do one way and only one way for the rest of my life, direct. And that's it. That's my favorite. So, awesome. And by the way, good evening, Gil. Thanks for coming in late. He's right. You won't find any early Youngblood covers, and for that case, interior pages. But is that because Rob has them all and doesn't want to sell them? I would assume. Or did they all sell and you're saying that collectors don't want to give them up?
Oh, wow.
I think Rob has them. What's he saying now? So Rob has mentioned that so they're gone, but they happen to be mostly in one person's collection. Wow. Wow, that's pretty wild. Good evening, my friend. Marcus says, "Oh yeah, Liefeld used to sell on eBay through Marat Michaels. That's interesting. Yeah, I remember that.
I did pick up some non-Youngblood. I picked up some Deadpool pages on eBay that way.
Okay,
around 2014. Which
cool.
That's another where I wish I had bought more back then. But 2020. But
that's how it goes. Whatever. Thank you very much, Karen. Really appreciate your participation always. Thank you. And very cool pieces, George. Yeah. Good night. Good night to you. Awesome. George, I wanted to sort of ask if you wanted to take any time to promote anything you're doing on the music side at all, or I mean, I know, like I said, I got a bunch of your links down below, but
appreciate that.
spew away, go. I'm super happy to do that. Whatever.
No. I really appreciate that, man. Through the jacktheradio.com is the website for the band stuff. I also have my personal website, which I probably should have put the band website up there, but we've got some music comics there. We've got some vinyl and stuff like that. We're also on all the streaming services. So if anyone wants to stream the music, you can just look for Jack the Radio or go to jacktheradio.com/music. And we've got the link to your Spotify, Amazon Music, whatever service you use. And I will mention, just because this was exciting, in the last week or two, we had some songs in the Netflix series that they put out with NASCAR called NASCAR Full Speed. We had 2 songs in that show, and then just found out we had a song in the Sci-Fi Network's Resident Alien Season 3 premiere this past week. So pretty cool. You can also stream those songs online, but you can, I think, stream the shows online if you use those services.
That's cool, George. First of all, congratulations on that. That's really awesome. Really, really awesome. I'm just curious. When that happens, is that handled by, for example, those television networks just reaching out to your management and inquiring about using the songs? Is that how that goes, basically?
Yeah, we basically license our music through a company in LA called APM Music. And it's like a database of music that music supervisors and the people that work on these shows can go look for anything from, like, African drum beats to symphony sounds to metal to the music that we make. So it's pretty cool that, out of hundreds of thousands of songs, that they find our music and use our music in some of these programs.
That's cool. So I guess that simplifies the process, so it doesn't have to go through the management and all that. It's already set up.
It's way easier. The trade-off is, though, we generally don't find out about it.
Oh, really?
Until after the fact. Yeah.
Really? Wow. Why is that? I guess because your management is not on top of it, and it just happens, and it happens automatically without your involvement. Since you don't need to be involved, they just license it, they get it, they do it, and then you find out, right? Like,
and in full disclosure, there's not much management. We do a lot of the stuff ourselves.
Okay.
These days. So it's us working with them, and they're working with like thousands of artists. So I think we're getting some cool placements, but I think we're low enough on the totem pole that they're not reaching out every time they land a placement, which is fine. I'm just excited we get placements, and it's kind of cool to get random friends hit me up and they're like, "Hey man, just heard your song on the show last night," or like, "I think I heard your song. Was that you?" And then I go look it up.
That's really cool.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Any want to tell anybody about any new music, or when was the last album?
So the last full album we put out was in 2020. It's the one with the anthology, but we've released some singles since then. Okay. And we actually did a 7-inch record in collaboration with Matt Allison. We did a song based on his Kankor comic. Wow. And with Aaron Conley on the other side, based on his Sabretooth Swordsman comic that he created with Damon Gentry. So we also have that 7-inch vinyl. We also did a song, I'll mention this, with Scotty Young for I Hate Fairyland.
Okay, cool.
We wrote a song inspired by the book. You can basically go in, scan a QR code, and then flip through the book. And it's timed. The first 17 pages have no dialogue, so it's timed with the music.
Oh my gosh!
Really cool. Really cool thing. It's may have been done before, and if it has been done, I'd love to see more of it. But really cool opportunity to collaborate with that comic.
Yeah, for sure.
We released that song, and we've released a couple other singles as well last year, and we're working on a new album that we're going to be putting out this year. So again, jacktheradio.com is probably the best place to keep up. We have a mailing list on there if anyone wants to get updates. we only send those like once a month. It's pretty low commitment if you do sign up for the mailing list.
No spam from Jack the Radio.
No, that takes work, man. I don't have time for that.
For sure. Yeah. Especially if you're not currently using management to handle all that crap, right? It's got to be you. So it's like, yeah, absolutely. CJ wants to know, what's your favorite guitar, George? Fender, Gibson, Gretsch. He's naming them all. So.
Yeah, I love Fender Telecasters, so that's probably my go-to. Fender Telecaster, yeah.
But it's either Fender Telecaster or the Les Paul. Typically, right? Those are the two kind of
And I do have a Les Paul. It just doesn't get as much love as the Telecaster. Yeah.
No, I totally get it. There you go, CJ.
Yeah, thanks, Jeff.
I popped it up before, but I didn't know if you'd seen it or whatever. So there you go. Yeah, awesome. Okay, excellent. Anyways, everyone, like I said, if you're interested in finding out more about George's projects, either comics, music, combination of both, whatever, just check out all his links below in the description or below the description. That's it. For the rest of you who are still here, by the way, the 28 of you, I unfortunately do not have my thumbnail ready for next week's show, but I can confirm at least that next week's show is going to be with Hage again. He's got a lot he wants to, on his mind that he wants to talk about the industry, about art, or we could say as art, comic art in general. I don't want to give too much away, but it's the kind of topics that causes a lot of discussion. It prompts a lot of discussion. And it's going to be with Matt Kennedy. So Matt Kennedy is going to be back. So it'll be myself, Hage, and Matt Kennedy. And we're not sure. I'm not sure if I'm going to label the show and promote it as either just a hangout episode or as Comic Art 101, because it could fit as both. But anyways, we'll see. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. These kinds of discussions usually are. And I know you guys always have a lot to say about this shit. So remember to tune in for that. That's going to be at the usual time, 8:00 p.m. Eastern, 5:00 Pacific. And we get a few comments here because I know they're all pouring in. Sorry. Thank you, Carl. Appreciate it. Really, really appreciate it. I too think there should be less Paul and more Go. Nice, Scott. Thanks for coming in at the last second to throw in a couple of jokes. Fun show and tell tonight, guys. I appreciate you. Tom, thank you so much for always dropping in. Roberto, you're still here, or did you just come back? Beautiful art, George, and congrats on the music success. Awesome to see the songs get picked up. That's awesome. And thanks for the show, George and Ruben. Love the art. Just bought a copy of your Creatures anthology and the mini comic. See you in the chats all. Awesome. See you too. Thank you, Jewish Dragons. Hail Hage, indeed. Thanks. Oh, okay, that's you. Thanks for an interesting show of many interests. You're very welcome. Thank you as always for tuning in, Mark. I appreciate you. We are not going to be talking. He always does that. We're not going to be talking about blue lines for the next 2 hours, but thank you for your interest in them. You mean for next week? No, it's not going to be about blue lines. Although with this kind of talk, that kind of thing could somehow sneak in. Hopefully not, though. It's not about that. Is he going to talk about cadence? He is not. I mean, again, it's one of those things that could come up, but I doubt it. Even if it came up, it's like I said earlier in tonight's show, there's nothing to say. So we won't really, we'll if it comes up, we'll kind of push it along unless there's news about it. But yeah, not likely. No, not mono. Look at these guys guessing what's going to. Just tune in, man. You guys always tune in anyways. So just get here next week. Relax. Oh boy. No, not cool lines. We're not talking about that. Thank you, Rick. There, see, this is a good comment. Thank you. Appreciate it. Sounds like an interesting trio next week. It is. Hey, the last couple of weeks, you guys were all telling me, have Matt Kennedy back on. Have Matt Kennedy. Okay, so that's why I brought him back on. It's Hage's show, just so you know. It's Hage who has stuff on his mind that wants to get off his chest. But yeah, we felt Matt would be good for that, so that's why. Fantastic show. Thank you, CJ. Thank you for your support as always. Really appreciate you. You too, Mr. Red Jack. I appreciate you. And thank you, George, for sharing our work in music. And how about that? For sharing the art, because music is art, right? So both the comic art and the music for sure. Eternals, what's up, man? Great show. Good night to you. Thank you very much. No, we're not going to be talking about scanner size, matte colors, and frame choices. I could if you want me to, but we're not going to do that. No, don't guess. Just show up as always. Okay, guys. So thank you very much. And on camera, of course, George, thank you, my friend. Thank you. My pleasure. Really. I've been wanting to do it. Like I had told you when you popped into the chat, whenever it was, several weeks back, a couple of months ago, whenever that was. And I said, we do a show, So it's been a long time coming. So I really, really appreciate you doing this, man. So
yeah, glad we made it happen. Thank you.
Awesome. No, Marcus, don't do that. What music best pairs with comic? Maybe we could do a music related type show it's about music, right? And then I have you back on, George.
Why not?
Music. So Shatterstar, Gil Shatterstar. I remember that being a comic, Shatterstar. Oh no, that's a Youngblood character, right?
X-Force.
Right. X-Force. Though I don't know what you're bringing it up for. That was for the Liefeld. Thank you. No, we will not be talking about how to post descriptions on CAP. I've told you guys already a little bit this week plus last week. That's enough. I would think you guys would learn once in a while, and don't instead of making me always have to repeat myself. We need to know about what Hydra wants to talk about. Well, tune in next week and you'll find out. Okay, trust me, it's gonna be good. It'll be fun. It's always fun. That'll be really good. All right, so George, stick with me. Don't hang up for a second, please. Everybody, thank you again very, very much. Carl, it will be a lively discussion. Just know that. There you go. There you go. So thank you very much as always. Thanks again to the new subscribers. Appreciate you. And you want to know so you can do your homework? No, there's no homework to be done, Marcus. It's just whatever, man. Like, trust me. Just. I know you'll be here anyways. I don't have to tell you to be here, but I know you'll be here. You don't need to prepare your questions. You guys are making more of it than it is. Now the pressure's on now. Now I'm scared you guys are gonna be like, that's all it is. What? Just show up. It'll be fun. Okay, it'll be fun. Thanks again, everybody. I appreciate you as always. So yeah, be here next week, same time, same channel, and yeah, have a great week, and we will see you then. Peace, everyone. Thank you.